I'll call this Bang Bang.
Seriously?
Bang, bang. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. Bang, bang. I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch. Bang, bang. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. Bang, bang. I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang. I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang. Bang bang. I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro. Bang, bang. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. Bang, bang. I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. Bang bang. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang. Bang bang. Bang bang.
All right, Mr. Lally, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. Please state your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗺𝗄𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗺.
You're a bitch, bro. Bang bang. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang bang. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang bang.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchog, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stands, leave your clothes, buddy, and then we're screwing up the
funny ass guy, man.
508.
Have you ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. He's more a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody. You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Noise. Go, baby, we bringing our toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ape, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so won't go.
gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, turtle people? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good? Good. Excellent. Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. You can call me a variety of things. You can call me Clarence Woods Emerson if you like. That's my Facebook name. I'm back from 30-day suspension. I can finally go live again every morning at the bus stop just to fill you guys in, let you know I haven't been arrested. Brian Tully wanted me to be arrested the other day. So, you know, you never know. These people want me arrested all the time for miming. I'm a mime now. So, yeah, you can't mime. You can't, I guess. I don't know. But either way, there's that. Then there was, you can call me Uncle Turtleboy. Old school turtle riders are known to do that. You can call me Dr. Turtleboy. I actually prefer it. You know, it's my pronoun of choice. I feel like I've earned it. So that would be cool if you call me doctor. You can call me daddy. I will allow that. Might be weird for some people, so I won't mandate it. You can call me 𝗵𝗵𝗻𝗄𝗃 Kearney. That's my true crime name, especially when I don the leather jacket and go deep into the woods and just get in my thoughts and figure out who done it, you know? Or you can call me Journalism Jesus. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp, and make sure you smash that subscribe button for me and hit the notification bell in case we do an impromptu live, whatever. I don't care what you call me. But as long as you're here and you're cool, that's all that matters. Dr. Daddy taking me to the woods. Bez, you people. But all right, cool. Yeah, so what else do we got going on? Yeah, so that's that. If you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class, we don't have it's not that I'm sick. I'm not actually sick at all. It's just the talking. This is my third day in a row of a show, you know? So it's the shows that do it to me. You got to talk a lot in this line of work. So, but I swear I'm not sick. And by the way, keep me posted about the Celtics. Halftime looks like they're up 58-54. Tatum's got 22 already. That's good to see. Excellent work. But, you know, I don't know if you guys saw the other night. They had two 40-point scores in a game for the first time in Celtics history, and neither of them was Tatum or Brown. Like, that was wild. But anyway, yeah, we don't have super chats here, so we don't have, like, the cool colors that everyone else has. But that's cool because those crooks take 40% of your donos anyway. So we built our own platform. It's called Turtle Chat. If you click at the link at the top, that brings you to a thing where you can pay whatever amount of money you want for your message to be read. It's like a jukebox, except way cooler. And when you do that, I will get the notification and I will read your message out loud to the class. Doesn't matter how much you give. I'm gonna read your message. Unless it's under $5, then you can go fuck yourself. But and I would request that you keep it to like a sentence, maybe two. I can't have a whole fucking paragraph. I can't do it. It's got to be quick. Unless it's absolutely every sentence of it is funny, can't have it. So, yeah, that's how that works. Or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy, and we can do it that way. All right. Let me start off with a few here. Let's see what we got going on. Okay. All right. Frankie sends $5 and goes, there once was a man named 𝗃𝗍𝗄𝗃 who worked on a case that was messy. He destroyed every witness with deftness and swiftness. Now it's time to dismiss this Aunt Bevy. It's true. I don't think she's going to dismiss this case. She sucks. Like, she sucks. She's so bad. She just sucks, you know? She sucked for a long time. But now she's just out of control. It doesn't give a fuck. The thing with the dog guy, letting him in after literally saying, like, make it like her own rule said that couldn't happen. Now here we are playing dumb the other day when she was like, wait a minute, what's this 47 pieces of taillight thing you're talking about? Can you point that out to me? She's trying to be sly. She knows exactly what she's talking about. Or remember the first trial? Before the first trial, she's like, who's Brian Higgins? Oh, motherfucker. He's the guy. He's Kevin from Southie. He's the guy that calls into the JFK show. He gets real upset about that. He's a decorated dude, Your Honor. He's a decorated dude with no game. That's who Brian Higgins is. So yeah, you can, what else was I going to say? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, what else Auntie Bev sucks about? Oh, and then the 𝗵𝗏𝗺 thing. I mean, the 𝗵𝗏𝗺 thing is absolute. We talked about it all Turtle Club yesterday during sex call. The 𝗵𝗏𝗺 thing is just the cherry on the piece of shit sundae, isn't it, for her? It's like she just does not give a fuck anymore. And I think the only good thing about that is I think they might have unleashed 𝗵𝗏𝗺 2.0. He doesn't seem, he's very professional, let's put it that way. But you don't insult a guy like that who's been practicing law for over 25 years, some of the highest stakes courts in the country, with a perfectly flawless record. You don't attack a guy like that and suggest that he's not capable of being non-corrupt. And, you don't do that. It's a big no-no. So we'll see what comes from that. But all right. So anyway, next turtle chat. Brittany sends $10, goes, have your lawyers received the D&E pizza surveillance video? Also, do you think Brennan has seen the actual video where you say you wanted the case to go to trial? That's a really good question. I don't know if he has. I don't know if Cosgrove has either. Like, I literally say it's on the same tape where they claim I don't want it to go to trial. Like, it's wild. And I did a whole show on my charges the other night. And then there's new charges, obviously. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit worried about that, because I'm sure they're going to try to revoke my bail on March 18th. On March 18th, which is a Kearney hearing, Robert Cosgrove, I'm going to be arraigned, and Robert Cosgrove is going to file a motion to put me back in jail for at least 60 days. So that option is on the table for the judge. I don't know who this judge is. It's not Walsh. He's on vacation that week. I like that guy. I think he would see this for what it is, but you're playing judge roulette here, and that's scary, and going into a courtroom and not knowing if you're going to come out. That's going to be my reality on March 18th. And I'd be lying if I said that there wasn't, if I didn't have a little bit of anxiety over that. Who wouldn't, like, I would feel a lot better, obviously, for a million reasons. I mean, incarceration was horrible, absolutely horrible. And I don't want to do it again. And it's fucking bullshit. So to answer your question, have I seen the D&E pizza surveillance video? Yes, we have seen 2 of them, and they both have sound. One of them has better sound than the other, and both of them show essentially that I walk by. First of all, had a couple drinks in whatchamacallit. It's a bunch of grab ass. It's a bunch of grab ass. Okay. And you're walking by the window, and I see a camera. I parked my car. I didn't drive. The car was parked right kind of out front of D&E Pizza, a couple spots down, right near where Jill Daniels pulled up when she assaulted me. And there's a freaking camera there. And at least I thought I don't know, it was a blinking light. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so the camera shows me looking in at the blinking light for like 25. I'm like, what the fuck? And I just stare at the blinking light. I don't even really remember doing this. I'm just staring at the blinking light. And it's apparently a camera. Now, in Massachusetts is a 2-party consent state. So in Massachusetts, you have to alert anyone else if you are audio recording them. And I've seen some people say in the comment sections on Twitter and stuff like that, like, no. There's no assumption of privacy and public. That's not how the Massachusetts wiretapping statutes work, guys. It's just not. I can show you the Massachusetts wiretapping. It's wiretapping. All right, I'll show you this. All right, so this is the keyword, this word interception here. The term interception means to secretly hear, secretly record, or aid another to secretly hear or secretly record the contents of any wire or oral communications through the use of an intercepting device. Okay, by any person other than a person given the prior authority to all parties of said communication. So secretly record another person. If you don't know that you are being recorded, it is a secret. You have to be told that you're being recorded. That's it. Or else it's wiretapping. That's just how it works. Almost every store that has surveillance videos, lots of surveillance videos have, lots of stores have surveillance videos. They don't have audio. They don't have audio. So it's 𝗃𝗄𝗃 has to put up a sign that says you are being recorded. And I don't even know if that counts. If you even put up a sign and says that. Right? So I don't even think the sign would count, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, you can't audio record. So the expectation, from as far as I was concerned, even if you're on private property, no, you can be, if you are going out in the middle of a fucking park and somebody records you in the middle of Central Park, that's wiretapping. If you go into someone's store and they record your audio, that's wiretapping. You have to tell the other person you're recording them. That's what the law says. Interception, right? Because it says here, the definition of except as otherwise specifically provided, any person who willfully commits an interception, which 𝗃𝗄𝗃 did, shall be, that's it. Willfully commits an interception. That's the whole law. He willfully committed an interception. Proof of the installation of any intercepting device by any person under circumstance evincing an intent to commit an interception, which is not authorized or permitted by the section, shall prima, I don't know how to pronounce that, evidence of a violation of this sub paragraph. So there you go. Done. So I walk by there and, you know, it doesn't matter. People are like, the sidewalk is public. It doesn't. I'm aware the sidewalk is public. I'm aware the sidewalk is public. Doesn't change the fact you can't record somebody on a public sidewalk, a private sidewalk. As long as you are in Massachusetts, you have to tell the person that you're audio recording them. So you have to understand, I'm under the impression that I'm not being recorded audio-wise because 𝗃𝗄𝗃 is an upstanding, law-abiding person, is he not? He's got a "We Support Canton Police" sign in his window. His brother is a detective on the Canton Police Department, right? So 𝗃𝗄𝗃 would never break the law. He would never commit a felony. Oh, sorry. I know you weren't committing that. I know. I know you know, 𝗃𝗄𝗃 would never break the law. So I see a camera. I can't assume it's on. So if you watch the video, it's kind of weird. It's funny. Like I see the blinking light and I just get like, whoa. And I just look at the blinking light for like 20 seconds. I just stare at it, kind of like in a daze. And then Will comes over and he starts fucking with me a little bit. And he puts his arms, he does the T-Rex arms. He puts them in between my armpits there and puts them out like this and starts doing this thing. Okay. And so I'm like, I see his hands like this in the video. And at that point, Nan has come out, Lauren Murray's come out, and we're just laughing, and because Will's doing the thing, and we're just making jokes and shit. And so I'm like, I start like putting on a little show for Nan and Laura. We're just making jokes. And I'm like, when you see the video, I'm like talking in a trance. I'm like, I said that, I forget exactly what I said, but I specifically asked him about Peter Berger. I didn't, like, in court, they made it sound like I think Cosgrove read it as, Chris, what have you done? What have you done? You killed him, Chris. How could you do that? He should be alive today, Chris. That's how he reads it. In the two videos that they sent us, one of them is faint and the other one is a little better. And now they claim they merged these two together. You can hear it. On both of them, you can hear me say the words Peter Berger. I go, how could you kill Peter Berger? Peter Berger should be alive today. Peter Berger is the guy that Chris Albert killed in 1994. Peter Berger was a Hungarian foreign exchange student, 23 years old, attending Johnson & Wales, just wanted to live the American dream. Great student, great family back home who loved him dearly. Hungary had just gotten out of communism, and, they could travel freely. And Peter Berger represented the new generation of young Eastern European men who wanted to come to the United States, the land of freedom and democracy, and make a better life for himself and his family. And what parents wouldn't want that for their kid? And it was great. They beat communism. They beat it all, right? But they couldn't beat Chris Albert. And he was driving home with a woman on I-95 in Attleboro, with a woman by the name of Peggy Lau, nice Asian woman, also attending Johnson & Wales. Chris Albert runs them off the highway and then leaves the scene. He dies. Peggy lives because a guy named Dave, who I met outside the courthouse, he was with us supporting the Free Kearney movement. Dave it was a trucker, pulls over and pulls her out of the car. Peter has died, and Chris Albert flees the scene. He abandons the car and he turns himself in 2 days later. Sober as a clam by then. He had plenty of time to sober up. And he gets a deal. All right. His lawyer is Beverly Cannoni's brother. His lawyer is Beverly Cannoni's brother. Can you, that's not, we don't bring that up enough. That's Beverly Cannoni's brother represented Chris Albert and got him a deal where he served just 6 months in jail for killing a man. Because, let's be honest, they viewed him as less than human because he wasn't American. They're like, this guy's not from the United States. Nobody gives a shit. 6 months. Why should a good old boy like Chris Albert, who comes from a prestigious Canton family, generational Canton family, why should he go to jail for 10 years, for some guy that, he's from Hungary? Who cares? That's the way they viewed that. So that upsets me. And that has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with the John O'Keefe case. That has nothing to do with my charges at all. That's just me caring about a murdered foreign exchange student who would be, by my count, 54 years old today. Just over 30 years ago, he was killed. Could have had a nice family here. What a nice life he could have had, but it was taken from him by Chris Albert. And then Chris Albert reproduced, and we saw what came out of that. And so I'm offended by that. So I am not actually talking to Chris. I'm talking to a window, okay, with T-Rex hands, with the Glarus T-Rex hands. And I'm like, why'd you do that, Chris? I think I said something like that. Well, then I went on, I talked for a minute about his testimony. I think I asked, I didn't ask him this. I asked a window this. I'm putting on a show for these people. I'm doing a bit. It's comedy. And when you hear the way I'm talking, how I'm like I'm doing like this monotone, like, oh, why did you do that, Chris? Why did you do that? Like, it's like, you got to see it. It's a bit. Okay. And at no point do I say Colin did it. They completely made that up. I never said that at all. If I did, that we know by now that's not witness intimidation, because the rubber ducky guy, Rich Schiffer, had his charges dropped because Judge Walsh ruled that Colin did it is not witness intimidation. You know, at some point you would think these judges in Stoughton would get sick of these cops bringing these bullshit witness intimidation charges forward. And the whole thing lasts a minute. And what do they show on the news? They show like me going like, you guys have seen the videos. Have you seen the videos by now? I mean, if you haven't, I'll show you them real quick. I mean, Kerry True Crime had some of them. Damn, a lot of tweets here. Okay. No, that's not the one. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. All right. All right.
Come to my window. Come inside. Wait by the light of the moon. Come to
Okay. Like, this is witness intimidation. They're really gonna say this. Two guys sitting there cracking up. I think I'm rapping at this point. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm putting on the girls are laughing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like we're just having a good time. Witnessing, not like Mark Bettero said on the courthouse stairs. Not everything is witness intimidation. They're actually bringing this forward. Brian Tully wanted me arrested for this. Arrested for this video. Now, if I could go back in time, would I do this again? Not because I did anything wrong per se, but because it's anxiety inducing. I don't want to deal with this, right? I don't need another charge for bullshit. Like, I'm literally doing a rap thing there. Like, this whole thing, I'm like, that's my rap thing. That's how you know I'm in rapper mode when I'm doing this. That's when I'm rapping. And I didn't see that. That was not in the discovery they gave us. When I start rapping, I don't have that part. I think I think that's when we're leaving. I do a little like or miming or something. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, dude, this is grab assing. So we have seen the videos. I haven't shared them. We're deciding what we want to do with that. I'm not going to say anything more about that for now. But you know, ridiculous. I mean, this is it's just so I can't believe we're here right now. I mean, Cosgrove called this Chinese water torture. Chinese water torture, a little racist. That it's like, he's like, well, and that's how you know that their case is pathetically weak. He's like, well, yeah, nothing he did is like really intimidating, but it's like the cumulative nature of it all. It's like, it's a lot of little death by 1,000 cuts. That's what he's saying this is. I'm like, death by 1,000 mimes? Like, seriously? By impressions? What are we doing here? This is a crime in the United States of America? Like, this is a joke. The police should be embarrassed to be associated with something like this, but they have no shame. They just see this as they're corrupt. They're just corrupt cops who are willing to abuse their positions to put somebody they don't like in jail, period. Okay. So anyway, thanks for that, Turtle Chat. Next up, Hank's inverted micro penis sends $10 and goes, can we please talk about how Karen owned Hank when he tried and failed at staring her down? He is a small wee-wee, and it shows. Yeah, we need to go back and watch that video. Hold on. I definitely shared that one on my Twitter. Let's pull that up. By the way, and I mean, look at this guy. This is a guy who claims that the death by 1,000, but the whatever Chinese water torture thing, part of the water torture is when people take pictures of them in public. That's part of the Chinese water torture. This guy smiling with the big stupid grin there says he's, bothered by that. I mean, it's just, give me a break. Here it is. Watch this. Watch this. Just watch this. Have you guys seen this clip? This is great. You just watch. He is such a nerd. He cannot hide his emotions. Just watch Karen. Watch Karen. Look at him. Now, again, I would not recommend this for Karen Reed doing stuff like this. I don't think this can help her in any way whatsoever. Because we all get why she's doing it, because she's innocent and she's not scared of this fucking piece of shit. But a juror might not know that, might not get that. You know what I mean? A juror might be like, well, why is she doing that? You know, and some jurors did do that the first time. But this was great. I mean, she has every right to look at the guy who's trying to put her in jail. She has every right to. He's just such a pussy. He's just such a little bitch. He's just so glad that the days of being able to give him a swirly or a wedgie are over. You can't do that to me anymore. You can't give me a wedgie anymore. You can't. I'm a lawyer now. I represent 𝗬𝗏𝗍𝗺 now in the Commonwealth. I'm a real big. I have a 3-piece suit now. You can't be mean. You can't stare at me anymore. I'm tough now. I'm the bully now. Let's watch this.
Most conscientious, dedicated, admired.
Look at that. This is when she's saying that Fanning is the most admired guy. I mean, why is he even looking at her? So she looks at Nate.
Conscientious, dedicated, admired.
Oh, look at him. Look at him.
Police officers.
Look at him.
In Massachusetts.
Look at him. Look at him.
After having his name attempted to be sullied all over social media, attacking his integrity and his name.
He's so mad. He's such a loser. He's such a loser. So yeah, that's he's just mad. He can't hide it anymore. So thank you for that one. Renee sends $10, says Plymouth standout back in action tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. at Colony Place Shopping Center, peacefully protesting the corruption wealth. Let's fucking go. Yes. There you heard it. I think the weather's supposed to be a little bit nicer tomorrow, Renee. So hope it works out for you. Thank you. Billy Tibbet sends $5 and goes, I'm free. Fuck off Beverly at Olivia Lambeau. Sup. Okay. Thank you, Billy. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $10, goes, happy daylight savings time, St. Patrick's Day and March Madness. I think March Madness is in a week. We have a selection Sunday. I feel like Man Baby Clay would have enjoyed his first Shamrock Shake in filling out his first tournament bracket, but probably would have been a little cranky losing an hour of sleep. Well, first of all, Clay at this point would already be potty trained, walking, and fluent in 3 languages. So, I think you're right. I think Clay would have dominated his first St. Patrick's Day. And I think he would have been outside on the front lines protesting with us. But again, as I've lost a lot of things during this Karen Reed case, my freedom, the mental health, and, my 3rd child was just taken from me. Murdered, not just taken from me, murdered in front of me, in front of my own eyes, in the most horrifically way possible. And things will never be the same. I will always remember him. I will carry this on in his honor. And again, he'd be coming up on his first birthday in a few months and would have been great. But It was stolen from him. And we miss him every day. We think about him every day. And we just miss you, Clay. Love you, buddy. Thanks. Okay, thank you. All right, next up. I think some of these are from yesterday. I mean, I guess people were giving during Turtle Club. I'm not sure here. I don't know. Or 𝗫𝗿𝗄𝗃 sends $25 and goes, Turtleboy, you're one of a kind, smart, funny, and fearless. I truly enjoy and appreciate your reporting. Keep up the fight. Thank you. Laura from Newton sends $5 and says, what about Chris Oliver publicly apologizing at the Canton Select Board meeting? He was admitting guilt when he did that. I didn't see that. Oh, or he apologized for the way he behaved in front of his store, right? That's true. Okay. Let me just refresh this. I don't want to miss anyone. I'm sure there's some more. Bob sends $25 and goes, Turtleboy, remember that Chris Albert was elected to the Canton Select Board without disclosing the murder and before you broke the KT story and his DUI murder. A few weeks ago, I think you meant the KR story, a few weeks ago only, and we would have never have Chris Albert on the Select Board wreaking havoc on Canton and the greater world, Bob. Yeah, an underrated thing about this is that Chris Albert ran for Select Board like a year after John O'Keefe was murdered. And shortly after, you know, it began to look like this third-party conspiracy thing was going to be the defense. And they're like, you know what? Wouldn't it be great to have someone in our family who can be in charge of the police? And that is exactly what Chris Albert did. He went and got elected, and Kenny Berkowitz gave money to him and went to his, some of his fundraisers and shit like that. And he won. And so that's a disgrace. So thank you for that one. Next up. But yeah, pretty crazy how that works out, Bob. Blair Kittrick sends $10, goes, what do you think about mass accountabilities finding old footage they took in Canton back in 2022? Okay, this is about Berkey's son's right tail light, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I don't want you to waste any more money. It means absolutely fucking nothing to me that there is a video of Berkey's son with a broken taillight on his cruiser in 2022. It means absolutely fucking nothing. It means less to me than people who talk about wandless. That's another one. Now that we all know Sean in the Gulf, it turned out to be a complete fraud, we can finally say that this thing that Brian Wandless took his fucking car, took the goddamn car to his shop and chopped it up there, that was a completely made up story by a pathological liar named Sean of the Gulf, who still wants you to believe that Michael Proctor has been fired. It's untrue. And you know what else is untrue? And I took down today this other one in the Justice Group. It was pissing me off. Okay. And I've seen this one before too. And I love the admins, but I told them that you can't have shit like this going on there anymore. It was, where'd it go? This thing about somebody posted this, that Fanning and Tully, and I took this post down, so it's not there anymore. False police reports and perjury, police misconduct, false arrests, surprise, not really. And they put a screenshot of what appears to be some sort of court document. And on the court document, it says that Trooper Fanning, this guy named Kevin Clapp, apparently sued Fanning and a couple others. He's another Nick Fiorillo. Okay. That's all this guy is. Just another Nick Fiorillo. When you see this guy, what he looks like, he went on that Lena's channel, Truth and Transparency. When you actually see this guy, you're like, oh shit, it's just a crazy dude. It's just another crazy person who sees a very serious story of corruption involving Karen Reed and is like, oh, I can attach my own crazy story to this and people will believe it because everybody believes that these people are corrupt. Just because Fanning and 𝗵𝗁𝗃𝗃𝗃 and all these people were involved in corruption during the Karen Reed case doesn't mean that everything they did in their entire fucking career is corrupt. It doesn't mean that every single person that they've arrested is innocent. It does not mean that. Okay. Like, let's be clear about that, because there seems to be a thing with that these people are just jumping onto this. They're globbing onto it. Okay. Well, Fanning and Tulling did beat him up. No, they fucking didn't. Did you read the court documents? Did you actually read the whole fucking thing? It turns out they didn't. He was arrested. Okay. He was fucking arrested. That's it. He wasn't beaten up. And he writes this fucking thing. And so it's like, that's the thing about it. If you're one of these people, if you want to just, there's a thing called confirmation bias, and this shit needs to end. We need to have a fucking talk about this right now. Okay. This confirmation bias shit. All right. If you don't believe shit just because you want to believe it, just because, oh yeah, that confirms my bias. I think Fanning's a scumbag. I think Tully's a scumbag. Nobody thinks they're scumbags more than me. Nobody. That doesn't mean everybody claiming that they did something bad is being truthful. Like, I'm sorry. And don't believe it just because you want to believe that Fanning and Tully are bad guys. Okay? Enough of this shit. When you see something like this, and I'm going to read something to you, guys, and maybe this is why I do what I do and people trust me, because I wouldn't fucking lie. And when you see a sentence like this in a court document, I'm going to read this to you. Trooper Fanning, let's see, Richard McCune, retired state police, has engaged in retaining the employment of Mass State Trooper John Fanning since he knew, through me and others, that Trooper Fanning was not qualified for the job and that he had been involved in the rape of a transvestite in Key West, Florida, at the guest quarters suite hotel in the hotel room of such victim who is willing to come forward and testify against the defendant in the rape and sodomizing that took place in January or February of 2005 while the defendant was still employed as a police officer with the Stoughton, Mass. Police Department. Stop right there. Just fucking stop right there. Let me show you guys a little thing called sourcing and vetting. If you see John Fanning raped a transvestite in Key West, Florida in February or January of 2005, just because it's in fucking typed words, guys, doesn't make it fucking true. You understand that? Just because it's in a court document. Like, this was shared on the justice page, and all the comments were filled with people like, oh my God, gee, oh, I can't believe this. What a scumbag. Guys, be better than this. This is the kind of bullshit. When I see shit like this, it pissed me off today. This is the kind of bullshit that these anti-free Karen Reed people love. They love this shit when you post shit like this. They fucking love it because it makes us all sound fucking crazy. And this is why I call myself fucking daddy, by the way. Because if you post something like this, if you're dumb enough to believe something like this, you are a fucking emotional child. Okay. And you need daddy, apparently. I don't want to call myself daddy, but when you act like a fucking child, I have to call myself that because somebody's got to be the fucking adult here. No, John Fanning did not rape a tranny in 2005. John Fanning did a lot of bad things in his career. John Fanning is the reason that Sandra Birchmore's death was classified as a suicide when she was clearly murdered. John Fanning came to my house when I was arrested. All that shit. John Fanning didn't rape a tranny in Key West in 2005. Jesus fucking Christ. How fucking stupid do you got to be to believe that shit? Seriously. That never fucking happened ever. Ever. And it's sad that you need me to fucking tell you that. It shouldn't take me to fucking tell you that. You should question this shit. Question it. Like, does that sound right? Is that consistent with who John Fanning is? John Fanning, what do I know about him? Well, he likes to look the other way on shit. He likes to cover for cops. Yeah, so that would be consistent with it. But raping trannies in Key West, Florida. Seriously. The colonel had direct knowledge that Fanning was a male prostitute and was a hire for sex police officer engaging in foreseeable sex acts. Okay. I don't even know what the fuck to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that. Shame on you. Shame on you if you're dumb enough to fall for that. Anyway, next up. Okay. Lisa, no, did I read that one? Yeah, Lisa said, sends $5, goes, notice how several people inside Fairview said on the stand that there was the music playing. Seems like a rehearsed excuse of why they didn't hear the car accident. Yeah, everything was rehearsed. Everything was, we'll say this. Well, just like they all rehearsed, why didn't you see a body? Oh, I was looking this way. Yeah, I didn't see it. I was looking that way. Even Caitlin, listen to Caitlin Albert's testimony and Sarah Levinson's testimony. They walk out the front door, because the walking out the front door, by the way, was yet another opportunity to see John's body on the front lawn, not just driving by it, walking out the front door, because that lawn is small. And so they both testify the same thing, that they didn't look at the lawn because they were looking down at the ground because it was slippery out and they were wearing heels. So there's that. Next up. Lori sends $10 and goes, Lori Jean, and says, I fucking hate Cannonball and Pee Wee Herman. I wish them vocal cord cancer. Amen. A-Rod sends $10, goes, Jackson said in court that if that juror was recorded, it would be illegal. That juror was out in public. Jackson knows the rules. Yes, he did. And we're going to talk about that. Here's what I know about that. I've interviewed that juror. That was the first juror I interviewed, the one that was kicked off. If you go back and read my juror interviews. So I don't know if you guys noticed in that interview, I specifically didn't talk about the juror deliberations with her, because that would have given away the fact that she was one of the 3 jurors who was dismissed. And that was the juror who I noted the whole time was making faces that were favorable to Karen Reed. And she wrote in her notebook, they're all liars. It was very obvious by the end of the trial, she didn't believe a word these people said. And the other day, it's very interesting. After our hearing for the motion to dismiss, we went in a jury room where the jurors deliberate. And sitting on the fucking windowsill was a stack of notebooks. Juror 1, Juror 2, Juror 3. We look, they're just sitting right fucking there. Just sitting there. Anyone could see the inner thoughts of any juror. Like, the juror security was insane. And none of these people actually saw John Fanning. He wasn't riding on the bus with them. He wasn't doing anything like that. But John Fanning was still the one who called it in. Spanky admitted that. He was the one that called it in. And this juror couldn't have been more obvious what her thoughts were. And someone would say, well, she's biased. Well, she's biased because she sat through 10 weeks of testimony. They were all biased towards the end, right? They were all biased towards the end. How could you not be biased towards the end? How could you not have an opinion towards the end? And she clearly had the opinion that these people are lying, and Karen Reed was 1000% innocent. And so Fanning reports that 6 weeks earlier, he was told by a source that she was recorded at a bar making comments that were favorable, that she was on the Karen Reed jury and she didn't believe any of these people. It was, I believe it was the night, it was around the Higgins testimony. And she was at a, like, and she's like, she was told about a tape, that such tape existed, and it was not shown to her. She didn't, and the judge asked her, did you go out to a bar in Dedham? Yeah. I think, I don't remember, it was 6 weeks ago. And were you talking about the case? I don't remember. I don't think so. Because they told her there was a tape. And she's like, I don't think so. And no tape was ever shown. So this juror who's making all these faces, who Michael Proctor saw the faces that she was making. She made very noticeable faces during Michael Proctor's testimony. She was disgusted by Michael Proctor's testimony. Michael Proctor was literally sitting 2 feet away from her. She was in the third juror seat, front row, third one over. She was about 5 feet away from Michael Proctor. And Michael Proctor kept looking at the jury to try to convince them that I'm not such a bad guy. And this Michael Proctor saw the faces she was making. Michael Proctor is a man who's shown that he's obsessed with getting Karen Read convicted by any means necessary. He despises Karen Read. He wants her in jail because her being convicted exonerates him a little bit. Not really, but a little bit. In his mind, at least he does. And so he's looking at her like, okay, this woman's a problem. That woman's a not guilty voter. And she's got a strong personality because she's sitting here all like, making faces. She's disgusted by me. Like, what the fuck? She's going to convince others that Karen's not guilty. Like, we got to get rid of her. And then 6 weeks later, after this alleged incident happens at a bar, Fanning decides to report it. The source has come to him. Now, I know who the source is, and I'm not going to say. I don't have permission yet. I know who the person is that went to Fanning. That person is friends with Brian Albert. I'll tell you that much right now. That person's friends with Brian Albert. And that person, and Brian Albert was sitting in court the day that this woman was kicked out. Brian Albert, of course, was also feet away from this woman. I wasn't in court that day because I wasn't allowed in during the Brian Albert testimony. But I can tell you right now, that person's friends, the person that reported her to John Fanning is a friend of Brian Albert. Because as Alan Jackson pointed out, who would even know that this woman was a juror if they saw her out? Right? Who would even know? I know who it was. And it's a friend of Brian Albert. I'll tell you that much right now. Somebody who knows and is friendly with Brian Albert. So there's that. Reported her to John Fanning. And John Fanning then gleefully passed along that information, decided to 6 weeks later, right when they went to deliberations. Why wasn't this reported 6 weeks earlier? It can't be Krusty. It can't be Marty or Krusty because they don't know this person. They don't know the juror. So they couldn't be the ones to do it. It had to be somebody who knew both Brian Albert and the juror, period. And this is a small world. This is a small world, that all these counties, Norfolk County. This is why they should pick a jury from outside Norfolk County too. It should not be a Norfolk County juror. Like even in the Chestnut case, it was like that jury was taken from Worcester County. So anyway, it's not wiretapping if no video exists. There's no video. There's nothing. They just made it up. There's nothing. So again, I am trying to get this juror to come on with me, but you know what they'll do to her. They will fucking attack her and destroy her. Look what they're doing to Ronnie, who's like kind of middle of the road. And they're just attacking the shit out of him. And Ronnie is just, you guys heard him on. It was like what things Ronnie said on my, and by the way, Ronnie, I like how Ronnie's everywhere now. He's Inside Edition, Vinny Politan, all these others, you know what I mean? And who had him first? Who was the first to nail down that interview? I tracked him down on my own. I got it done. Yeah, of course they're attacking Ronnie. Not attacking him. They haven't gone after his family and shit yet. That's why I didn't put his last name out there, but he's put his last name out there now. So they've gone after him. They've gone after this Victoria George person. We're going to get to her today, how awesome she is. And, and they'll go after this other woman too. I have no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. But I do, I'm the only one that's talked to this other juror. I'm the only media, not Ronnie, the other juror, the juror in question that was kicked off. I'm the only one that's spoken to her, period. So we'll see if we can get her on. Maybe Victoria too. That would be cool. She's welcome on here as well. All right, cool. So thank you for that one. Next up, Maddie in Georgetown sends $10, goes, just got my free Karen Read sweatshirt in the mail. I wear it everywhere I can. Keep fighting, Dr. Daddy. We are all standing behind you. Free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy. Thank you, Maddie. Enjoy your sweatshirt. Tara sends $10, says, if the cool judge from this past week dismisses your charges, there's no bail to revoke, right? Incorrect. Because I will still have the fake victim charges. We did not file a motion to dismiss with her yet because hers is even stupider than theirs. We decided to separate them. Hers are more complicated. Well, not more like hers is just like more work than the others combined almost. Because everything she alleges was not on video. Everything that the McAlberts allege, I put out. It's on my YouTube channel. There's timestamps and shit. So if the charges are dropped against me, I will not have bail for those charges, which would mean these stay away orders that were just put in place on me will disappear. But again, I have no desire to see these people whatsoever. D&E Pizza was closed. You understand that? Closed. I made no contact. We had to walk by D&E Pizza to get into CF McCarthy's, and it was open at the time, and there was no incidents. There was nothing. So, what the fuck? So I have no desire to see any of these people. So if the charges are dropped and the stay away orders go away, I'm still not going to go anywhere near these people because I don't want to. That's it. Period. Yeah, they need to stay off daddy's dick, Carrie. That's right. Got that right. Yeah, what pizza places close that early? So, what Chris doesn't understand is that the people inside CF McCarthy's, they all can't stand him. He's like the worst neighbor. And, they all told me in there, no names, of course. They're like, yeah, they don't get any business. They don't get any business. And there was one incident I know that there's receipts for this too. And Chris knows about this, that a $1,600 transaction was made. He just took just $1,600 out. There's a receipt for that. There's a lot of shit like that going on at D&E Pizza. I don't know what it's. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a drug front at all. I'm definitely not saying that. But it doesn't get much business. It's a welfare pizza shop. Don't forget that. It is a welfare pizza shop. During the trial, Grant Smith Ellis and others ordered charity pizzas and sent them from D&E Pizza and sent them to like various soup kitchens and shit like that. It's a charity pizza shop. They are dependent on the charity of others. They don't make much money, I don't think. It is the worst run business I've ever seen in my life. So nobody wants to go there. So, all of a sudden somebody comes in and $1,600 is given out. I don't know. You tell me what's going on there. But anyway, that's that. And can you believe Cosgrove wanted to put one of the conditions of my release that I can't defame the witnesses? Of course I can't defame the witnesses. I can't defame anyone. You can sue me if I do. But he wanted that to be a condition of release. Like you go to jail if you defame it. And who decides what defamation is? He gets to decide. If I say that I believe these people are guilty of murder, he's going to be like, that's defamation. You can't say that anymore. You just violated the conditions of bail. That's what that was. That was an attempt to limit the things that I could say on my show and just destroy the First Amendment. That's what that was. Okay, next up. Yeah, so that would be cool. Say a prayer for me tomorrow. Like having these charges go away this week would be a godsend. And I'm glad we rewatched the video of the motion to dismiss hearing the other night on the live show, because based on the judge's questions, I became a lot more confident that he just gets it. I think he gets it. I just think he got it. That Judge Doolin gets it. I think most judges would get it. I think that Judge Walsh gets it. I think Judge Pomeroy gets it. I think a lot of judges get it. Whereas people like Auntie Bev just don't. They're just corrupt and they're kind of stupid. Bev is kind of stupid. She's not very smart. So there's that. She's a DEI hire. At the end of the day, that's all she is. Okay. Next up. Crazy Dory sends $10 and goes, Sir Turtle, did you hear about Colleen Crawford and John Fanning having a video data analysis business together? That is true. Guess what date they dissolved it? 2/22/22. I know. That's very true. The day Karen Reed was arraigned. They allegedly altered CCTV video evidence in the case of the murder of Keith Bordeaux by Paul Fahey in 2015. I don't know anything about that, but okay, thank you. Jackie sends $10 and goes, I pray Auntie Bev is being investigated. This is literally mind-blowing. I love you, Dr. Turtleboy. Free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Jackie. Bev's grave concern sent $10 and says, just curious, what is an average workday like for an award-winning satirical journalist? That's a good question. Very different from what it was years ago. I have not published an article in a week, and that annoys me because I used to publish. My average day a few years ago was I would publish 3 or 4 articles a day. And when I had a team of other bloggers that would write for me, we would publish 7 or 8 articles a day on the website. Now, if I didn't publish one all week. It's just my day used to consist of just writing content and looking for stories to write about. And it was just a variety of shit. Somebody parked in a handicap spot illegally. Let's run the plate and shame them and identify who they are and make them look bad because they're assholes. Or somebody's another fucking drag queen are reading to kids in the school library. Let's shame them for that. Okay. Let's just shame shitty people doing shitty things. Right. And occasionally do a story that was like, whoa, state police, the dog lady is a drug dealer, Leah Genduso, or, something like that. Kylie Kirkpatrick or one of these stories, Monica Cannon Grant, I would mix those in there too. Now it's changed. Now my days are very different. I spend too much time on my own legal case. That's for one thing. That takes up a significant amount of my time. And just now I spend more time on Twitter, just consuming information because there's a lot you can learn on Twitter if you follow the right people. If you follow people like, I don't even know. I don't want to leave anyone out. There's 2, that Carrie True Crime lady. I learned a lot of shit on hers. Olivia Nile, Lena Del Turtle. I could go down the list. Goat Boy. I don't want to leave anyone out. Carrie, my new favorite retweeter there. So that's what I do now is I read a lot and I gather a lot of substance for the shows, because I'm really more of a YouTuber now. I used to be a writer, an award-winning journalist. Now I'm like an award-winning media entertainer or satirist or whatever you want to call me. And so my average day has changed immensely in the last few years. So thank you for asking. Okay. And then, I try to also get some exercise in there. You got to exercise every day. And because the way I figure it, it's okay to exercise during the day and take a little time out of you. Most people don't have time to do that because they're working, but I work at night, the show is work. I'm working right now, getting paid, so, I can afford to exercise there, and you got to get the kids on and off the bus. And that's that. Oh, Food Stamp Fridays. We all remember Food Stamp Fridays. We would just I would find people selling their food stamps on Facebook and shame them for it. That was the whole bit I had. So thank you very much for that. Okay. Kathy sends $5, goes, I believe in you. You're so enjoyable. Enjoyable. She wrote, enjoy a bull. I will enjoy one bull. Thank you, Kathy. Thanks so much. I appreciate that, Kathy. Chris sends $10 and says, happy birthday, Amanda. Colin did it. Colin. I still can't believe it called him Colin. Thank you. Bev's Angry Clam sends 25, says, any chance we can get a freestyle like old times soon? Also, Jen McCabe is a content. Yes, I've been meaning to do one. I got a new beat from my guy Voos that I gotta have time. Stop it, Colin Albert. Stop it. All right. Okay. Let me refresh this. I don't want to miss anyone. Lena sends $5 and goes, all I've had stuck in my head for the last couple of weeks is the song Come to My Window. Me too. God bless you. Thank you as always. P.S. 𝗄𝗲𝗂𝗧𝘂𝗍𝗂 a cunt. Chris Albert killed a man, and Jim Ferris is rude. Free grab ass turtle. I know. Free the grab ass. Thank you. Cousin Cornelia sends $10 and goes, Uncle Turtle, thanks for exposing these fugazis. Have you seen anything from Video Jesus? There is clear evidence that these Sallyport videos have been tampered with. I don't know how many times can you throw your hands up in one case. I would suggest if anyone has clear evidence of that, please send it to the defense. They are always open to hearing from people and them helping out. You know, no tip is good or bad. If they don't find it useful, they probably won't get back to you, but they will listen to any lead. I'll tell you that much. Bev's Grave Concern sends $5, goes, my favorite example of how rehearsed the 34 Fairview people were was how Jen and Nicole both testified as to how Nicole is, quote, always cleaning. Nice cover in case the house just happened to smell like bleach. You can't hide that. That's a great point. That's a great point. Thank you. Boston G sends $25 and says, in January or February of 2005, while vacationing in Key West, I woke up and my asshole was hurt. Just saying. Maybe it was fanning. I don't know. I heard he was down there. Krusty's renewed order. Yeah, if you guys missed that, I got the restraining order against Krusty Panties renewed. And they're like, and the only cope they can come up with that, because they obviously, if she had gotten that thrown out, that's all you would hear about from these douchebags. But no matter what happens, they think it's a win. And their cope with that is that, oh, you need protection from a woman. Well, I don't know that I'd actually qualify her as a woman. I don't need to know what's been beneath the sheets. I don't care. But that thing is, it's like a hybrid. She's scary, dude. Yeah. Okay. I'm scared of Krusty. Like, a big deal. Like, because she's a psychopath. I think she'll, and the fear is very legitimate. She is threatened multiple times to call. And it's not just the threat. It's how much she is obsessed with me. It's the obsession that's truly scary. The obsession with me. Like, no human being should be this obsessed with another human being, guys. Until you have somebody like that, that's that dedicated to following everything you do, you'll never understand. Like, it's scary. Like, it's fucking scary. And then you combine that with the occasional threat to meet me in a parking lot and kick the shit out of me or whatever. How can you not? Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I admit that I am scared of that person. You act like a bit like bitches I've never killed before. Like 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗃 ain't a thing. Like, some bitches are scary. Like, should 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗃's dead boyfriend, is he a pussy if he was scared of her? No, because she's fucking scary. You know, some people, bitches can be scary too. 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗃 could be scary too, you know? Okay. So let's see. The Krusty's renewed ordered sends $10 because I did get that renewed. And, you know, the court audio is going to be interesting. She lectured the judge again about case law or whatever, and she's having a tough time coping with it. And I'm not even going to spike. Like last year, I spiked the ball and was like, yes, I got to win, you know, because I was very happy to have that order. I'm not even doing that now. I'm just happy to have the order because the order protects me and my family from her because she's dangerous. She's unwell, as they say. So Krusty's renewed order sends $10 and goes, is there any truth to the rumor that Colleen Crawford was mentioned in the thank you credits of Krusty's hit piece video and then later deleted once her name was out in the public? I don't know anything about that, but thank you. R.I.P. Clay sends $5 and goes, go to hankbrennan.com to donate to Karen Reed's defense fund. Yes, if you do that, hankbrennan.com, I think you're going to like what comes up. So thank you. Next up, I'm read a couple more. Actually, I'll just do some cash apps and then we'll get started with the content here. Okay. Let's see. Emmy sends $25 and goes, no comment. Thank you, Emmy. We got Rochelle sends $25 and goes, did you ever get paid by M. William Phelps? Now, I need to follow up with my attorney on that. So thank you, Rochelle. I appreciate the reminder. Angela sends $20 and goes, giving you a voice to the voiceless fearlessly. Again, and thank you, Angela. That's what I plan on doing out here. But yeah, with Phelps, it's like, yeah, you know, he's going to say that, like, we haven't even seen the download. You know, they're just going to be like, you violated the contract. You're out. What? You know, he's going to try pulling some shit like that. That's why I need to talk to my lawyer. But I also don't know how much money they made, you know? All right, next up. Chad sends $5 and says, any mechanism to recall Bev? No. A lot of people keep sending me this change.org petition to get rid of Bev. Guys, if you're doing that, you must be new here. I don't do change.org petitions. Change.org petitions are a fucking joke. They mean you could get 1 billion people to sign a petition demanding Auntie Bev be recused, and it would only make them want to promote her more. I hope you understand that. That's the hackorama. The hackorama, people like that get like that. Others criticize. Like there was a judge a few years ago who let an illegal immigrant out a back door of a Newton courthouse, I think, in order to avoid ICE, who was there to like detain him. And I want to say she was charged with it, Shelly something. And like the legal community rallied behind her. Like they rallied, they were like, it makes them want, when they view how Massachusetts works, when they view outsiders coming in and like demanding that Auntie Bev be removed, like most people who sign this change.org petition are not from Norfolk County. And so they view you guys as carpetbaggers, as outsiders coming into their community, trying to like change their view of life. And it only makes them want to double down more and protect her because they view you guys as trying to attack their way of life. Like this is human nature. Like this is how the civil rights movement happened. Like, what do you think the civil rights movement was? And why do you think the people in the South defended segregation so much? It's because they viewed this as a northern assault on their way of life. They're like, no, you're going to come. No, we separate down here. That's what we do. You're not going to come down here and race mix and, you know, change our way of life. No, fuck no. It made them want to double down more. It's like human nature and so that's why stop sending me the change.org petition. There is no mechanism to get rid of Auntie Bev. If that is your plan, you are wasting your time. And I will not waste a second of my time endorsing that, participating in that, or giving people the false hope that that will work, because it will not work. That's not going to work. How do you beat this? You donate to Kearney's defense fund. That's how you beat this. So that she can hire experts that can beat this in court and convince a jury. That's how you beat this. You're not getting rid of Auntie Bev just because you don't like her. It's not, she knows what she's doing. She knows just how not, and it's like impossible like to get rid of a judge in this state. You have to like go through the governor's council and it requires a vote of the legislature. It's like, it's not going to happen with your fucking change.org petition. Grow up and welcome to grown-up world. Stop it with the change.org petitions. It's cute. I'll give you that. It's like when your kid draws you a fucking card for your birthday or something like that. You're like, that's so sweet. That's so nice. Yeah. But it's not going to do shit. Period. All right. So give it up. Stop it with the change.org petitions. It's stupid. And I'm not doing it just because it's going to make me look stupid to the other side. That's like what they want. They want to be like, look at these idiots with the change.org petition. They think that they're going to get it a step down. I'm not. That's why I'm not doing it. I don't like doing losing things. I like to win. I like winning. Okay, so thank you. Cosgrove sends, Mama She sends $50 and goes, Cosgrove equals colonoscopy or ectomy. Yes, he needs to learn how to pronounce colon, doesn't he? Okay, or Colin. Leah sends $50 and goes, in case I don't make the whole show, free Turtleboy. Well, thank you very much, Leah. I appreciate that. Ann Ilton sends $25 and goes, fuck Spanky. Also, Colin did it. They must hate Cosgrove for doing that. They must hate Cosgrove. Yeah, so we'll see. She's not Raj anymore, but she got some other position doing something. I think she got, I don't know, they all rallied behind her. The new Raj is actually my guy, Doolin. So we'll see what happens with that. Can we talk about the 12 new experts? Yeah, it's actually 8. I think it's 4 are carrying over. Actually, Sheridan's not one of them. I do know Sheridan's not one of them. So it's going to be 9 experts. And I don't know anything about these new experts. So I don't know anything about that. Okay, let's be clear about that because that's not public. The expert list is not public. So I don't know who's on that list. All I know is that list has Spanky big mad. He filed that motion. He wants to have an extension for these motions in limine because he just got this list. He's like, fuck, I got to dauber all these motherfuckers, but there's no time. Brilliant move by the defense, by the way. Like, that's how you want to play chess, Spanky? Okay, we give you a list of our experts and you try to dauber them all and smear them all. Meanwhile, your fucking quack YouTube dog guy gets to come on here. No problem. So I don't know anything about any of these expert witnesses. Nothing. I don't know nothing about them. Okay. But wouldn't that be cool if one of these new expert witnesses was an expert who testified to something that no one saw coming, right? And it completely changed everything. Imagine that. That would be fucking cool. I don't know nothing about that, though. Nothing. So that would be really cool if there was some defense expert that came on here and just blew it. Whoa, bombshell in the courtroom type shit. Whoa. Headline cover of the Boston Herald, blank, redacted. Whoa. Wow. And Paula keeps like, fuck. Okay, who want to get horny with me? I don't know. I don't know nothing about that though. So yeah, we'll see. But again, yeah, there's that. Okay. All right. If anyone else wants their message read out loud to the class, click the link at the top for Turtle Chat or cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. Okay. Let's watch some. So I haven't had a chance with you guys to on Thursday we watched my hearing. All right. And we didn't get a chance to watch Karen's. And we need to talk about it. So let's go watch the club. And by the way, what's the score in the Celtics game now? They're killing them now. Awesome. Great to see. Celtics are back. Oh, wow. The Lakers made it close. They were up by 20. Why does this always happen? Always happen with the Celtics. They're up by 4 with 4 minutes left. Luka's going off. He's got 27. LeBron's about to have a triple-double. 22, 14, and 9. JT's about to have a triple-double. 33, 11, and 8. You're getting a game if you're in Boston right now. Jaylen Brown's got 26. Oh, Peyton Pritchard's only got 3. Mr. 40 points. Maybe that's the problem. We got to get him going. So up by 5 now. So keep me posted on that one. But yeah, like I said, we haven't had a chance to go over what happened the other night, the other day. So we're going to watch some of it now. So let me pull this up and we can go over it. And so I know this is old. I know like I'm like the last one to this and I get it, but there can never be enough content. Can never have enough content, can you? All right. So I'm going to start on the Spanky part right here with the taillight, because this shit is just
for you. As I started with a question for the defense. So I'd like you to explain to the court, please, what efforts the Commonwealth made to comply with the Rule 14 obligation regarding the Sallyport videos and why the dribs and drabs of the way.
Exhibit number two. Exhibit number two. Exhibit number two. Not missing. There is a piece. Now, again, trying to assert some type of relevance, the defense suggests there is something in the federal materials that would show relevance because Mr. Higgins said in the federal materials that he does not believe he made any phone calls. If you were to look at that testimony in the federal materials, you would see there was an enormous amount of conversation about the period in which he was sleeping. And there were dialed calls between him and Mr. Albert. And so you have to look at it in context rather than say
the butt dials?
Denial and there's an aha moment. There is no aha moment.
What? Like, Spanky's not stupid. If he was defending a client and these cops were saying that, oh, yeah, I butt dialed during sex. That's why it says I called someone on my call log. Picture what he would do with that as a defense attorney.
So
do you have the grand jury cite? I think I might have got it from Ms. Little earlier, but the grand jury testimony of Brian Higgins. I have it. It's just easier if you have a cite to that.
I have it tab, but I don't have to turn.
I'm sure Ms. McLaughlin can get it.
I'll provide it momentarily.
All right, thank you.
So what really arises from the subterfuge is that the defense did not ask for video. There was video provided when the prosecutors learned about it. There was video that was in the hands of Trooper Proctor that should have been provided to the prosecutor that wasn't. There was not.
See how they're throwing Proctor under the bus? There's video that Proctor had that should have been provided. It should, like, they got all this video. Proctor just got it all. And DGM Petro gave it to him. And then he gave it to Proctor. And Proctor's just like, he gave over whatever he felt like giving over. Apparently that's what happened here. And it's just, I cannot believe they're going forward. This whole thing should be thrown out because of Proctor alone. Like, any decent, they'd be like, we fucked up. Like, and it's all, like, they have an out. Blame it all on Proctor. It's all his fault. Sorry. If you believe that the only way to get justice for John O'Keefe is if you're dumb enough to believe the only way to get justice for John O'Keefe is by convicting Karen Reed, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. Blame this asshole. Like, it's such an easy scapegoat.
Nothing done to alter or taint the video. There was nothing destructive about it. There's no tactical advantage.
Oh, yeah.
There's no benefit to the government. And clearly from Trooper Proctor's testimony, there was no effort whatsoever to hide it. It should have been managed better, no doubt. But there was nothing about it that was prejudicial. There was nothing about it that showed tampering or altering. And so ultimately, the import of the defense's argument is that this evidence, this information, is exculpatory. It's exculpatory because what they claim is that it would show that Miss Reed's taillight was cracked, not missing a piece. Now, first thing we look at is Nick Barros' testimony.
So they're saying that, well, the defense claims that if these videos were given to us, it would show they're exculpatory. It's like, it doesn't matter. Like, they could also help you, right, Spanky? Shouldn't you want to see the videos too? Shouldn't you be just as outraged as she is that these videos are gone? Like, how do you not want to see these videos too? Make that make sense.
And if you have an opportunity to look at his testimony on page 12, line 1, the defendant told you part of the story. I saw there was some damage to the rear taillight. To my best ability and recollection, that taillight was not completely damaged. It was cracked. But they forgot the next part.
Wait, so he's using the Nick Barros testimony. Nicholas Barros, Sergeant Barros, said that the taillight was not, it was cracked, but not completely destroyed. I believe those were his exact words, cracked, but not completely destroyed. So what's up with that? How are you going to explain that one? And so I truly believe that the defense screwed up by they thought they were in the lead and they're like, that's good enough. We like that testimony. We're going to stick with that. We're not going to cross-examine Barros. They need to show him a picture of Karen Reed's taillight in the Canton garage, completely destroyed, and be like, did it look like this? I understand that they can't talk to him before. They could if they wanted to, but they're just unsure, you know? It's like, and you're not supposed to, you know, ask witnesses questions that you don't know what they're going to say. But I know what he's going to say. He's going to say no. He was like waiting for an opportunity to say no. It did not look like that, period. And so this guy, now because of that, this guy's trying to capitalize, but like, no, listen to what he says.
And there was a piece missing not completely damaged.
A piece
That's
missing.
exactly how we see Miss Reed's car later on after it is at Canton. The entire taillight is not missing. There is a piece missing.
Exactly. I'm listening to this and I'm like, exactly. We agree, Spanky. The entire taillight's not missing when we see it at 8 o'clock, or we see it at 5 o'clock, when we see it at 4 p.m. in Dayton. You're right. There is only a piece missing. It is like, but you claim there's 47 pieces missing. So what up with that? Explain that one, Spanky.
That piece, where the fractures of it are found at 34 Fairview, right near Mr. O'Keefe's body.
They weren't found by the Canton Police Department when they looked.
The same parts of the taillight fragments that are found in the sleeve of his shirt.
The taillight fragments that are found in the sleeve of the microscopic ones that are found. When did they find those? Oh, right. 18 months later. 18 months later, Michael Proctor finds microscopic taillight. Microscopic taillight. The taillight didn't just break into 47 pieces. It broke into thousands of pieces, actually. And by the way, reconstructing the fucking taillight, where do those microscopic pieces fit in there? Like, what? It's not glass. It's polycarbonate. Like, what? Again, and he just said a minute ago, it was one piece that was missing, not 47.
And so it's not simply cracked. Even the witness they tried to lean on, Mr. Barrows, says more.
How did they lean on him? They didn't even cross-examine him.
That taillight is not just cracked. That taillight is missing. Then there is nothing exculpatory whatsoever about the Canton video. It's a red herring because there can be no plant of fractured taillight if it's already gone before it gets to Canton. There can't be. And so when looking at the evidence,
if he wants to go there, we can go there. This is a big tactical error on his part because I don't think the jury heard about this enough. Like, I think that's one of the things from Ronnie talking about that they wasn't really hammered in, that everybody agrees that the police found taillight later on. Everybody agrees on that. And everybody agrees that when she pulls out of John's driveway at 507, her taillight is broken. Clearly, nobody disagrees with that. We disagree with how much it was broken. Period. It's much more broken later on. So if Spanky wants to go there, we can go there. If he wants to make this a bigger issue and put it under the microscope more, that's not a good thing for him. We're just going to analyze it more, and it's not going to go well.
Is unequivocally clear that piece of the taillight is missing well before that car ever gets to Canton. And so we can quibble and we can dispute and we can go back and forth all day, but the best way is to just show you the evidence. And so when we look at the evidence, let's start first with the claim that the Sallyport videos were tampered with. Canton went back before January 29, 2022, and they took samples of the video to see if it was in the same condition, inverted for the back wall and fuzzy for the front wall. And we have those, and we turn those over to the defense. And I just wanted Your Honor to see a small clip of that to show this condition, these conditions existed before this case was even a moment. So with the court's permission, I'm going to ask to put up exhibit number 2. Exhibit number 2 shows the inverted camera from January 1st, 2022. Now, this is 28 days before Ms. Reed's Lexus hits the Sallyport area. Now, you can see, if you stop that, please. Thank you very much. On that wall, on that garage wall, there's a 4. It is backwards. This Sallyport video was not doctored by Trooper Proctor. It wasn't altered by Trooper Buchanan. It was in existence well before Miss Reed's car showed up.
So he's saying that, oh, actually, they hand over inverted video all the time. First of all, Spanky, why do you have a tape from January 1st, 2022? That's when this was taken, right? January 1st, 2022. I thought it all erased 30 days later. Why do you have this at all? And secondly, how do we know we didn't invert this shit? What? How do we know you didn't invert this shit? Like, what? we trust Helena Rafferty? Are you fucking kidding me? LOL, Helena Rafferty, that lady? Give me a break.
That Sallyport. Similarly, front wall camera, could you please put on exhibit 3? Exhibit 3 is from January 28, 2022, a day before Ms. Reed's vehicle makes it to the Sallyport. And you can see the quality.
Oh, it's
It
like
wasn't
that all the time.
distorted on purpose. It wasn't manipulation by the state police.
No, nothing tricky
This
at
is
all.
the way the camera worked in Canton. Thank you very much.
It's fucked up
So
all the
idea of
time.
Tampering. We can claim it. We can assert it without fact, but we can prove it did not happen. Now, what we know is that missing taillight was not tampered with because it was gone hours before police even touched Ms. Reed's vehicle. At 5:08 a.m., she left Meadows Road. That's John
Meadows
O'Keefe's
Ave.
home.
Meadows Ave.
And when she left at 5:08 a.m., that taillight part was already missing. If we look at Exhibit 6, please. And this is from the Ring video of John O'Keefe's home. This evidence directly contradicts the idea that the Sallyport video is relevant to showing rape.
Like, this is what he's actually going to show her backing into the car. He's actually going to do this. Now, they've hired like a car guy. What's his name there? 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. And I think 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, from what the trolls have said, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 has taken a Lexus and backed it into, I think they're going to show a video of 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 backing a Lexus into its reverse and showing where it would hit. I think they're actually going to do that and say, well, it couldn't have happened this way because of this. Good luck with that. I hope it's the exact right angle. If it's not at the exact same angle that Kara Reed does it, it doesn't fucking matter. It has to recreate this. You have to do it at the exact angle. You can't just fucking bang it in from the side. Like, it has to be this exact angle. So I hope if not, it shouldn't be admissible in court. If they're allowed to just do shit like that, we should be allowed to be like, okay, we're going to have somebody that got bit by a dog come up here and show their fucking arm and be like, see that? Yeah, that looks a lot like John's arm. Like, so anyway, back to this.
Anything about this. As Ms. Reed nudges into Mr. O'Keefe's car, she will pull forward.
Nudges. At least they
will stop the video in 2 spots so you can get a clear look.
At least they admit it's a nudge
of
now.
that rear taillight missing.
Like, look at this shit.
Please. Thank you.
Like, look at this shit. The taillight's there. There's obviously this part right here is white. That part has been hurt. And people are like, well, there's no taillight at the scene, right? Well, they didn't find any taillight at the scene because it's fucking inverted. It would push it in, wouldn't it? And what are they? There's a whole couple inches of space there. In the housing, it would just be fucking sitting there, wouldn't it? In the fucking housing. That's where boom, mystery solved. Done. Columbo up in this bitch. He's gonna show this, and like, dude, this all is gone when Proctor gets a hold of it. You understand that, Spanky? Like, this is not gonna work out the way that you think this. If you think this helps your cause, you're fucking high. You're high. If anything, at best, you get reasonable doubt for Kara Reed. At best, because you're like, well, I don't fucking know. I can't tell. That's at best. At worst, they're like, oh shit, it's still on there. And it's not on there later, which means they planted that shit, didn't they? This does not help him at all. Like, is he high?
And then I had one more. You can see the white light shine. Stop. You can see it.
Yeah, because it's cracked. What about this part right here?
Clearly missing. You can't plant something that's already gone. And the reason why you see white is a red taillight cover, and when the red is missing or gone, as it is in this case, the white bulb still shines, and that's why it shines white. The defense position.
That's a good point, Joe Flipperhead. Yes. From what I've been told by the trolls, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 has recreated back in a Lexus into a Chevy Traverse. This is what they've said. This is what's his name said. Brendan Kane said this on a podcast. That guy's talking. That guy, the leprechaun motherfucker. That motherfucker loves attention. He's like on Dateline, all this shit. That guy, he shows up to everything. Brendan Kane said that they had recreated this, and that it's impossible. It wouldn't have cracked. He said there's too much room between the lights. It wouldn't have cracked. And how could he know that unless they recreated it? They recreated this shit. But if they present a video of this in trial, it better be the right angle. It better be the exact same angle, or else it's not the same thing. And you're right, Joe Flipperhead. You recreated this, but just recreate the taillight. Like, recreate a taillight smashing on an arm. Do it. If that could happen to anybody, if that's something that could happen, then fucking that shouldn't that be the thing that you want to recreate? The taillight smashing on a fucking arm? Do that one instead.
Is also contradicted by the ARCA witnesses. If we look at Dr. Wolf's testimony, day 31 of trial, it's noted as Exhibit 10 in our package, page 36. ADA Lally asks the good doctor, now, doctor,
the good doctor,
in the course of your analysis or review of materials here, were you ever provided with a video of the defendant backing out a garage and making contact with Mr. 𝗀𝗃's vehicle in his driveway at about 5:07 in the morning on January 29th? He says, I'm not aware of that. And then if we move to page 124, line 1. Now, line 2. Now, as far as you're aware from the review and your testing and everything that you did in this case.
Yeah, he never saw the video. He was never shown this video. Wolfie wasn't.
If a collision occurred at a lower speed, say 1, 2, anywhere from 0 to 5 miles an hour, would that create the damage to the taillight that you observed in this particular case? And Dr. Wolf says, at that speed, no. We provided notice of our own expert. And there's one thing, many things, but one critical thing the experts will all agree on. That nudging did not cause the damage to that taillight. The defense position is also contradicted by dash cam footage. Sadly, an officer went to the 𝗀𝗃 home to check on his niece and nephew on that tragic day. And when he did, he had a dash cam video further reinforcing that that taillight is missing well before that vehicle makes it to the Sallyport area.
It doesn't do that at all. And by the way, no Aaron O'Keefe once again in court. Oh, there's that leprechaun motherfucker. Yeah, he's the same guy. And Carl Dougal has said this too. They've all said this. This is part of their grand theory, is that actually Karen Reed hit John's car on purpose to make it look like that caused it. I mean, and they call us conspiracy theorists. They call us conspiracy theorists. You know?
If we could play Exhibit 7, which is the dash cam footage showing Mr. 𝗀𝗃's car in his driveway at 8:22 a.m. If you could close up from the court, please. If you compare the right side to the left side, although covered and impacted by snow, if you could more close up, please, you can see that taillight, just like the detective from Aidan said, just like the 508 ring video shows, is missing.
Yeah, again, we've seen this video before. It doesn't show the side of it. That's the cracked part. We agree. That's the cracked part. The taillight is much larger than that, Spanky. The whole fucking taillight. And that's why I don't even understand why Proctor did what he did with all the taillight. I'll still never understand that. You only had to put a couple pieces there. It didn't have to be 47. He overdid it. Overdid it.
It's missing. There's no plant.
Oh, okay.
The defense's position is also contradicted by the alarm.com video that we received.
Oh, this is my favorite.
17. There are two videos.
This is my favorite.
8 and 9. If we could play Exhibit 8, please.
I love this one.
This is the defendant's car arriving and in the driveway. The defendant on the passenger side, and you can see them walk to the back of the car near the right taillight and stop.
Yeah.
And if the question is, what are they stopping for? We can play video 9. And this is when the car is being put on the tow truck.
What? Because they're standing at the back of the car. So they're standing at the back of her car in Dayton, and they must be like, oh yeah, see, Nate, that's where John's arm shattered when I ran his ass over. What?
4. It makes it to Kearney. And just like 508 in the driveway of Meadows, John 𝗀𝗃's home, you will see that right taillight shine white, showing the missing taillight cover on 2 occasions. If you have an opportunity to stop the video at the important points, please do so.
Can you lower it?
We cannot.
We cannot.
Can you zoom in on it?
Your Honor, I would encourage the parties to look at it on the computer. The clarity is much better, and it's very clear. The white light in this video. I cannot see it clearly on the screen.
So will you give me a flash drive of all of
Look at this. There's the fucking light. Like that's the taillight part of the car. The sail.
These exhibits?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
If you look at it on a small screen, see right there?
I do see it.
I do see it. She's acting like this is the first time she's seen it.
And then you'll see it again. So the alarm.com video.
It's like fucking right there. Again, here's the real travesty of this all. Michael Proctor was right there. At this point, they've already decided she ran him over. This is the prevailing story. She backed into him, right? This is the narrative they're going with by 4:12 p.m., which Proctor said was 5:30 in his report, but that was just a Scrivener's error, even though they insisted that it was 5:30 for about a year and a half, and they even went so far as to blame it on daylight savings. Right. So Michael Proctor and 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, for that matter, let's not forget him, at any point could have taken a picture of that goddamn taillight when they were there. Why didn't they do that? They both have cell phones on them, don't they? They're both trying to, I mean, isn't this crazy that so much evidence that could prove that Karen Reed's taillight was destroyed just doesn't exist? And it's the police didn't get it. I mean, there's a million and one ways they could have gotten proof that Karen Reed's taillight was in the condition it was. Starting with a picture right there. Right there. Take a picture of it. Or go to any, Karen took Route 138 through the center of Stoughton to get from Canton to Dayton. She went through Taunton and I think Raynham. You go through, I don't even know what towns, but you go through all these towns on 138. There's a million storefronts with cameras. There's a million places Proctor could have pulled video from. There's a million Ring cameras in Canton that Karen could have pulled video from. But either way, he's literally showing video here that shows that the taillight is not missing pieces from right there, from the part that's missing pieces later.
Video contradicts the defendant's position that there is anything exculpatory about these Sallyport videos. In fact, this whole idea of third party or plan doesn't come to town until 9 months after Ms. Reed is indicted. Perhaps the best evidence that contradicts the defense's position
that
there's any relevance to the Sallyport video, that there's any type of plant by anybody, is from the defendant herself. Ms. Reed spoke to 𝗃𝗄𝗃 on June 20th, 2023. And in that testimony, or in that interview, she said, when my car was seized, there was a few small pieces of taillight missing that I had picked out at John's at 5:45 before we drove over to Fairview. I'm showing Jen and Kerry, look what I just did to my light. And I'm worried that there's gonna be some kind of electric short circuit. There's like the bulb is showing and some of the red plastic is missing. So I picked pieces out of the light housing that kind of collapsed within the light and dropped them in John's driveway. And so I say to the court, the production should have been sooner, should have been cleaner. This should have been
I mean, this is where he's going to go with off the record notes from Gretchen Voss. That's what he's going with. That's how he's going to convict her. Okay. Good luck with that, pal.
Log or entry. The failure to provide was inadvertent. It was unfortunate. It shouldn't happen, but it's not Brady. It's not exculpatory. It's not intentional. It's not tampered with. It was inadvertent and inconsequential because the evidence is overwhelming that light is missing before the car makes it to the foot of the Sallyport, so there can be no plan. That is my argument regarding the Rule 14 issue. I would like to have time to speak about the claim of jury tampering. I understand the temperament of the court.
And by the way, I find that hard, like that she put taillight in John's driveway. We'll see. Play the Gretchen Voss fucking tape. Play that in court, Spanky. I'll believe that when I see it. That's actually what these are the same people who claim that I said Colin did it when I didn't say that. And there's a fucking video that they've submitted into evidence. I don't say that. Yeah.
I'm not tone deaf, but it is a claim that was lodged that has collateral consequence. And I think it's important for me to be able to address it. May I?
Yes.
Okay. Now's the good part. Now he gets into the greatness of John Fanning. How dare you disrespect?
Jury tampering is probably one of the most serious claims that one can make because it's not simply an attack on a case. It questions the fabric of our entire judicial system. If a good juror comes to court and believes there is no integrity in the court or in the judicial system, it is impossible for a fair-minded juror to even consider evidence because they do not trust the system to begin with. And if a government actor or a trooper or a police officer tampered with a jury, that would be one of the biggest, most abhorrent transgressions that could happen.
Yes, yes, Spanky, yes.
Because of the collateral consequence of tampering with the jury, it would take away the community's belief in our system.
Yes, yes, Spanky, he's so right.
If there is a claim of jury tampering and it's baseless and there's no evidence, it is not only a direct attack on the judicial system.
Oh, attack
It
on
would seem to be an effort to try to undermine the authority of the system in court before a trial to impede the ability to have a fair trial.
Oh, no.
It is an extraordinary claim. And it's notable, the defense motion dismiss. It's not just a motion dismiss. It's a
Oh, no, you can't criticize the system. You can't criticize the judicial system. How dare you? Says the guy who spent his entire career defending his clients by attacking the integrity of the judicial system and the police. That's what he spent his entire career doing. That's why he lives in a nicer house than Adam Lally does. That's why he gets to put meat in his cheese sandwiches and Lally doesn't. Because of that.
motion to dismiss for extraordinary government misconduct. So when you make an extraordinary claim about jury tampering, there should be extraordinary evidence.
Yeah.
There isn't even ordinary evidence. There is no evidence of jury tampering in this case. Now, I don't want to belabor this, but it's important because of the consequence of what happens when a claim like this is lodged. There is damage. And why I'd rather sit down, as I said before, a lie unchecked becomes the truth. And so how does one propagate a claim of jury tampering when there's no evidence? Well, first you need to plant the seed of corruption.
Oh, yeah.
And all you have to do is whisper it and hope the poison goes out there and is resonating in the potential community. And so what happens in this case? The defense finds a willing partner who covets an opportunity to meet with the defendant. They find a time, like after the Super Bowl, so there's this national exposure, and they just seep the information. They just seep it into the public and let it resonate. There can be no retort. The government can't respond.
He's so mad about
no
that.
No facts, no evidence.
He's so mad
Just
about that.
saturate the public. Now, it's important. It's important to see or hear or read what is said, because this really is the acorn that is being planted that cannot be rebutted. And it's not insignificant that this same information before this interview is being disseminated by Mr. Kearney. This idea that there was tampering by Lieutenant Fanning.
Me?
Not a coincidence.
Wait.
So during this interview,
whoa. By Mr. Kearney? Did he just say me? Oh, I got to be honest. Was he talking about me there? That's the first time I've heard this. I have not heard this part yet. I have not played this. I swear to God, I have not played this part yet. This is a dry run. Did he just say my name?
Because this really is the acorn that is being planted that cannot be rebutted. And it's not insignificant that this same information before this interview is being disseminated by Mr. Kearney.
Does he just assume that the judge, did he talk about me earlier in the hearing? Like, or is it just assume the court knows what Mr. Kearney means? She didn't know who Brian Higgins was in the first trial, but she knows who I am? Of course she does. What? I didn't even know. I got a shout out from Spanky in court. He follows me. Yes, I did write about this beforehand, Spanky, because I spoke with the juror, you fucking idiot. I spoke with the juror. Why don't you go talk to her, Spanky? She got a lot to say.
This idea that there was tampering by Lieutenant Fanning, not a coincidence. And so during this interview,
not a coincidence,
that the defendant and the attorney have, the question's asked. I don't know why it's asked, but it's asked. There have been sort of these unsubstantiated claims in the atmosphere that there might have been some funny business with the jurors who were dismissed. Really? And Mr. Jackson says, right. The question, is this a real concern that you have? Is this something that you were looking at, or have you just dismissed it as a rumor? Answer, I never just dismissed that as rumor. Something like that, it's too convenient for the prosecution for us to just dismiss out of hand. Do I have any evidence, specific evidence that there was jury tampering? I don't have any specific evidence of it. And yet we have a motion filed 2 weeks later. Do I think there are questions that should be asked? Do I think that there are questions that have been raised about the way the jurors were dismissed and who was dismissed very specifically? And then it continues on page 13 of the transcript. Question, one of the state troopers who was involved with the Norfolk DA's office and on the periphery of the investigation was also responsible for the jury? Not sure where these questions come from. Answer, right. He wasn't that far on the periphery of the investigation. He was involved in the investigation. He was direct supervisor over the individuals that were testifying and over and about whom we had leveled some very, very serious claims and ended up proving those claims during the course of direct and cross-examination in the presentation of our case. That person, that supervisor, we found out well in the trial. As a matter of fact, at the end of the trial, we found out is the very person who was governing the jurors. That's a question that should be raised. That is an issue that should be teased out. Should never, ever happen. That is the very definition of a conflict of interest. Question. Is that standard in Massachusetts for just the DA's office to assign whoever they want to be sort of, supervisor of the jury? Yeah. Is it standard in Massachusetts? I hope not. Never seen that in my life. But if I had a nickel for every time I said I've never seen this type in my life as it pertains to the Massachusetts justice system.
He really
the
is.
System, I'd have a lot of nickels.
So I didn't see that interview. I don't have the transcript. I'd like a copy of that transcript.
Your Honor, I understand. I may be mistaken. We produced all of the exhibits to the court, and you should have a transcript. If not, I will get it to you immediately.
Okay.
Defend Fanning's honor. Defend Fanning's honor. I did not realize he called my name.
Step one, finding a vehicle to plant the seed. And they did that very effectively. The next step is they have to identify a target. Who are they going to blame? Who's going to be the villain?
Yeah.
In this case, a villain goes from anybody that gets in the way. It could be a soccer mom. It could be a police.
I love when they say that. It's like soccer mom. Whenever they say that, it's like soccer mom is code for white woman. That's what he really means when he's saying soccer mom. He's saying that white suburban women are incapable of murder. He's mocking it. Like Hank Brennan is a racist. He would not be saying this if this took place in fucking Roxbury instead of Canton, and the McAlberts were all black and shit like that, he would not be calling them soccer moms. He would not. He is doing that because he wants to put it in the mind of the judge. Come on, Your Honor. White women in the suburbs don't commit crimes because they're white. Don't you get it? White people don't commit crimes, Your Honor. Black and brown people do. That's what he's fucking saying. Anytime you hear them say soccer mom or call Jennifer McCabe soccer mom, just understand that's Hank Brennan being racist. He would not be saying that if Jennifer McCabe were Puerto Rican. He fucking wouldn't. Because they'd be like, well, what do you associate soccer moms with? White women with fucking minivans, right? That's what that means. So just fucking come out and say it, Hank. You're a fucking racist piece of shit on top of being a huge nerd and a fucking loser. You fucking Nazi fuck. Let's go.
Peace officer. It could be a good Samaritan. Anybody that crosses the path is a target. And now they decided they were going to identify Lieutenant Fanning. Lieutenant Fanning is one of the most conscientious, dedicated, admired.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is.
In Massachusetts.
He does not. Look at him. Look at him how mad he is. He's so mad. He's
After
so
having
mad.
His name attempted to be sullied all over social media, attacking his integrity and his name. I can dare say that Lieutenant Fanning is in a different position than many. His integrity is so reputable, none of that will break him or his reputation. But it happened. When you look at the motion filed by the defense in this case, and they found their target in Lieutenant Fanning, you look at this motion, page 15. It's important when they made this public pleading, getting back to my request, Your Honor, the other day. You look at the bottom of page 15. It talks about Lieutenant Fanning and tries to align him or associate him with Trooper Proctor because Trooper Proctor's text message was on a chain that included Lieutenant Fanning. Lieutenant Fanning did not reprimand or otherwise correct his subordinate's disgusting and inappropriate behavior.
Right.
As a result, he was investigated by the Office of Professional Integrity and Accountability for allegations of inappropriate correspondence between department members. True. But then they leave off the punchline. They put this in a public document. They tried to smear him, degrade, demean, dehumanize.
Oh, dehumanize.
Is that after this thorough investigation by the Office of Professional Accountability?
I mean, imagine saying that about John Fanning, that John Fanning is such a, conscientious, one of the most respected state troopers in the state. Well, that's a badge of honor. Again, this is Sandra Birchmore's Canton Police Department report. Okay. Actually, this is from the Canton Police Department. All the same names. After reviewing the video, it's Detective Albert, Sergeant Lank, and I, who wrote this report, Detective Jonathan McCourt. Of course, there's a McCourt on the Canton Board of Selectmen. I assume they're related. And I accompanied Trooper Dunn and Trooper Sergeant Fanning, who arrived on scene, to apartment 3307 as a follow-up. Once inside, Trooper Fanning and Trooper Dunn took custody of written material located in the apartment. Also, the key fob to her apartment was located on her keys, resting on a box inside the apartment. So they all determined, again, Fanning was on it. All these people were on it. They all have, Colleen Crawford's got the video of Matthew Farwell walking into that apartment and leaving 30 minutes later. He's got everything. They got everything. They have they're in the apartment. They can see that she's got clothes in the fucking washing machine. And that, you know, it's just so obvious she didn't kill herself. And he determines that it is suicide. And I've talked to Kirk Minahan about this. Kirk Minahan interviewed, and Dave Cullinan interviewed John Fanning, who told them unequivocally, you guys are barking up the wrong tree if you guys think this is a murder. It's not a murder. She just killed herself. He insisted. Kirk told me that he basically laughed at them and said, you guys are, it's not what you think it is. Right? And so this guy, and as it turns out, it was the most obvious murder ever. And because of that, a murderer and a rapist was walking around free for 3.5 years, endangering everyone he came in contact with. That guy. That guy. I can't believe he killed her. I still can't believe he did that. I mean, think about, like, Matthew Farwell doesn't want to go to prison for the rest of his life. He's got a nice family, right? He was about to have a third baby. He's not going to do something like that if he thinks there's any chance he's going to get caught. He was so confident he wouldn't get in trouble because he knew who would be investigating it. That's why he did what he did. And he was right. Brian Albert was the same way. All these people, they're so confident. They're like, it's okay. We're going to be fine. We know who's investigating this. We're good. They're not going to arrest us. I'm a fucking cop. Okay. Brian Albert's a decorated dude. Decorated dude. Their own words. That's what they call themselves. Decorated dudes. They're not going to come after us. We're all set. That's the way shit works. Oh my God. That's why. And Sergeant Fanning is respected. He's one of the most conscientious people. You couldn't pick a guy who has, like, besides Proctor, maybe in comparison to Proctor he is. But besides Proctor, I don't know if there is a member of the state police who has more, you know, pie on his face. Is that the right term? Than John Fanning. And he actually got up there and say this. And I know, KT, I 100% believe that he wouldn't have gotten caught were it not for the Can't Read movement. The federal investigation into Farwell began after the investigation into Can't Read. They're like, oh, while we're here, same group of people, same town, let's look into this. Oh, this is an easy one. Yeah, we'll go into this one too. What am I doing? Okay. The fuck? All right. So back to the tape. We're almost done with this.
They took strong measures, very strong measures, when they found something that they were not agreeing with. They concluded that these complaints were not sustained.
So we were all aware of that. I received verification of that through the Pleadings Council, was all aware of that. I just need the date. When was he cleared? When was that made public?
We'll have to provide that to you.
Was it prior to this? Was it prior to the motion being filed?
Yes, it was last fall. I can provide the date right now.
Okay.
Lieutenant Fanning is not in a unique position.
Okay, Your Honor. Sorry. It was July 17th, 2024.
He is similarly situated to the many first responders and witnesses in this case. And then, without any basis, the defense then distorts that Lieutenant Fanning was in charge of juror security. He had control of the jury, and he had access to the jury. Think about what those statements say to our community, who are going to pile in here in less than a month to try to give a fair trial. to both sides. Think about what those words mean.
And by the way, I love this new stupid gag order. As outrageous as the gag order is, like out fucking rageous that this gag order is put in place. And if you want to listen to me rant about that, watch last night's Sex Cult Turtle Club show. Not going to do it again. But when you think about this gag order, it's like, what? It's too late, brother. It's too. If the goal here is to stop a jury pool from hearing the truth about what's actually happening, it's too late. You're gagging them too late. They've already said everything. We've already, and you can gag Alan Jackson all you want. You can't stop us. You can't stop the internet from releasing this information out there to the public. You can't do it. So there's that.
After selecting their target and trying to dehumanize him and degrade him,
they
then try to create an illusion of this grandiose habit that is running amok. Trying to get the community to think Trooper Fanning controlled, had access, and tampered with the jury. Think about that concept. Not only is it an attack on Lieutenant Fanning, it is an attack on the integrity of the trial court.
Right, Katie.
I've walked a lot of hallways in the trial courts over the past 30 years. And the heartbeat of trial courts is the court officers.
Oh my God. Oh, look at him here. I love this is his new thing. Hank Brennan, defender of the trial court officers. The guy in the white shirt back there. Awesome guy, by the way. And he's like, how dare Alan Jackson attack them? Alan Jackson never, ever attacked them. Talk about straw man and red herrings, bro. You're literally defending people who nobody attacked.
They help, they assist, they guide, and they have solemn pledges. They are charged with the responsibility of the jury. To suggest this is to suggest that the hardworking men and women in our trial court system who come here every day for everybody else's benefit, it is to suggest that they would cede their authority to the state police and abscond from their duty and responsibility to protect that jury with no basis.
No
whatsoever.
one's suggesting
that is the concept that they are promoting.
No one's suggesting that.
The trial court personnel throughout the state are steadfast and dedicated. I've tried a lot of cases, and I think most of the lawyers in here have. It is without a doubt in Massachusetts that these dutiful men and women of the trial court protect and are sworn at the end of every case and during instructions to protect the jury. And these trial court employees, especially here in Dedham, some of the finest, would never abscond that duty. And yet it is now in the public domain, this suggestion. The only way that you dispel innuendo, suggestiveness, unsupported claims,
right,
and the poison
so
that you
true.
the community, the only
So
way you can
true.
stop that is with fact. So I'm going to list a few facts.
Oh, let's hear
for the
him.
record.
Let's hear him.
Fact.
Oh,
Lieutenant
okay.
Fanning was not in charge of juror security. Fact. Lieutenant Fanning did not have control of the jury. Fact. Lieutenant Fanning did not access the jury. Fact. Lieutenant Fanning was part of a multi-agency cooperative effort to ensure the safety of the public and court participants, which required numerous local police officers and state police because of the bedlam that was created outside.
The bedlam that was created outside. The bedlam. Go watch the tapes. It's like a bunch of women. Like it's like almost all women outside sitting around wearing pink and Rita Lombardi raving pom-poms. That's bedlam. He's acting like it was like anarchy outside. Bedlam. Bedlam. It's like, talk about dramatic. This dude is such a fucking lying piece of shit. Oh my God. What a liar. It was a fucking picnic. That's what it was. It was a glorified picnic. The weather was great. It was awesome. Beautiful out. And this guy's talking about, well, Fanning had to be involved because there was bedlam outside. Oh yeah. So we need Fanning for that. First of all, Sergeant Hardo is in charge of that, and Murph. Those guys are not associated with Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. And that's the way I like it. All the troopers that are outside court, like none of them are associated with the Norfolk County DA's office. And that's the way it should be, right? Like I did not see Fanning out there, to be perfectly clear. I don't know. I like all boots on the ground. None of you guys saw Fanning out there, right? So I don't even know if Fanning's doing security out there. Fanning just happened to be the guy that called in and is like, I got a hot tip for you. And now get rid of this juror. Because somebody who knows Brian Albert called me. Right.
Fact. Lieutenant Fanning never, ever, ever met with or interacted with any juror. Fact. At all times, Lieutenant Fanning worked from a remote location, jointly managing operations for the safety of the public. Never setting foot on this property when the jury was here. Never meeting a juror, never looking at a juror, never being seen by a juror. Fact. No evidence any trial court personnel ever ceded their obligations and duty and handed them off to Lieutenant Fanning. Fact, Lieutenant Fanning heard numerous rumors
Here we
from
go.
various sources about a juror who expressed potential bias.
Fact. He heard, I want to replay that exactly. I want
to exceeded their obligations and duty and handed them off to Lieutenant Fanning. Fact, Lieutenant Fanning heard numerous rumors from various sources about
Lieutenant Fanning heard various rumors from sources. He heard rumors from sources. And what did he do with that?
a juror who expressed potential bias.
About a juror. So he heard a rumor about a juror who was making facial reactions in court, showing how she felt about this trial, expressing bias.
Fact, Trooper Fanning never investigated, approached, or inquired. He heard the information and provided it to the trial court as is responsible, dutiful, and proper.
So he admits it. He admits it. That he's the one that admitted it. Fanning is the guy. Why is Fanning having anything to do with this at all? Anything. He works with the scumbags. They're his buddies. They're on text chains. And he's admitting that, yeah, he's the guy that narked. Yeah, he didn't, he's not looking into this at all, but he heard a rumor. He heard a rumor and he reported it. And then that juror's gone. He's admitting it.
And I'll repeat one more time, Lieutenant Fanning never, ever, ever interacted, controlled, or met with any juror. Your Honor, these claims in the motion to dismiss have a theme. Different issues, same thing, same pattern, same effort.
He's so
Your Honor should
gay.
dismiss it outright.
He's so gay.
Thank you.
If I may, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to address in reverse order.
Now we're going to watch some
of
of
the
this.
statements
The
made by
response.
Mr. Brennan. And I want to talk first about this issue of juror interference, which is what we called it. It's words matter. We claim that there's interference. He indicates that that would be an abhorrent transgression if there were interference with a juror or a jury. We agree. It would be an abhorrent transgression.
Agreed. Yes.
The information that we have in front of us is not the information that Mr. Brennan just recited, which is interesting. I'll get to the facts that he very dramatically stated in just a second, because this is a fact-based inquiry, one that we asked for standing right over there at Sallyport and didn't get. But Mr. Brennan, with no support to back it up, and I'm going to ask a couple of pointed questions about that, recites these facts after facts after facts that he claimed absolve the Commonwealth of any transgression as it pertains to the jurors. And when I say Commonwealth, I'm talking about the Massachusetts State Police. Very clearly, in a clever, almost too cute by half argument, Mr. Brennan talks about the good court officers, the populating this courtroom and this courthouse, about whom we have made no allegation, no claim,
Nothing.
We have nothing but the highest respect and regard for the men and women who wear that uniform and perform these duties. None. Zero.
Zero.
And he knows that. But in an effort to create an enemy where there isn't one, he acts like we've insulted the court officers, which we haven't. He also said that Lieutenant Fanning stood up here and gave basically a CD, a resume for him, and said, the greatest guy on the face of the earth. I don't know Lieutenant Fanning.
Yes.
I don't know if he knows Lieutenant Fanning. Not really the point. It's in the personality contest. He said, we identified somebody with an unassailable reputation. We identified him. We didn't identify anybody. We were standing up at sidebar, fat, dumb, and happy, not knowing what was going to happen when somebody else identified him. It wasn't us. And by the way, everything that we filed concerning this was under seal. We didn't disclose anything in any court document. It wasn't a public document, it was under seal. Mr. Brennan then states that he was also a subject, this person with this unassailed career, was the subject of an IA investigation for his conduct on this case. It's not even about something tangential. It's about his conduct on this case, his supervisory role as it pertains to Michael Proctor and his, and I'll repeat it, disgusting conduct as it relates to my client. and his text messages, etc. When he was asked about those text messages, his claim was, I was on vacation.
Yes.
And ultimately, the Massachusetts State Police investigation cleared the Massachusetts State Police officer.
Yes. It's like, thank you for pointing that out. Like, Hank's like, he was on, yeah, the defense claims he was on these text messages that Michael Proctor said horrible things, but he didn't reprimand him. But guess what? He was on vacation. So you don't bring your fucking phone on vacation to North Carolina? That's where he was, North Carolina. Like, you don't bring your phone on vacation. So he didn't read any of this shit. So he never reprimanded Proctor for these horrific messages because he was in North Carolina and he couldn't read any of those. Right.
We've seen that happen. The question, or questions, I've heard, that surround this inquiry, and the reason we included it in our motion to dismiss, is because it appears that Ms. Reed did not get a fair trial because of this juror's dismissal. How would the person who's unidentified to this day?
Yes. Well, I know who she
How
is.
would this person know who the juror sitting in
that
one
person.
of these seats was?
Well, I know who that person was. I can identify them. I'm not going to because I don't have the permission from the juror to do that. But I know who it was. And I can say that it is somebody who is friendly with Brian Albert.
If she was at a private location, I won't mention the location. How would they know? How would they know to identify her? How would they know what she said? How would they know to record her illegally, potentially?
Illegal.
That happened?
Right.
How would they know these things? How would they know that if she was a juror, that she was a juror on the Commonwealth versus Reed matter specifically? And how would this unidentified person know of all of the authority figures to go to Lieutenant Fanning, of all people?
And people are saying the juror knows who said it. They have an idea. No one can know 100% for sure who did this, but she thinks she knows. She has an idea. And because, yeah, like, we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. AJ does not know. I know. But again, the juror cannot be 100% positive, of course, about this either. But the person who reported this to Fanning knows Brian Albert. I can say that as a fact. It's a crazy story. Not my story to tell right now. Maybe in the future we'll tell it. We'll see.
Who was then described to us after the fact as the, quote, commander of the extensive security operations that this case has required. And I went through that with the court this morning, but I just want to reiterate it one more time. Of course, it makes perfect sense that we would presume that if he's the commander, I don't think it gets much bigger than commander. If he's the commander of all security operations, he's the commander over operations that are attendant to the courts, the actual court's security, the personnel's security, the party's security to whatever degree that is necessitated, but maybe most importantly, the juror's security. That is a reasonable next step to conclude, a reasonable inference from the facts that we were given. But we do know this. He was the same thing that was just randomly picked to go report this to, was also the person that was in Ms. Reed's house seizing her phone just months before the trial. He's also the person that was interviewing witnesses or supervising the interviews of witnesses in this trial. He was also the person that was on the text messages between Proctor and his buddies at MSP talking about her and trying to find nudes. We know all of that existed. And yet we were denied an opportunity, Your Honor, an important opportunity to simply inquire before this juror was dismissed. That's all we asked. Let's get Lieutenant Fanning in here. Let's find out what the source of this is. And let's figure out, is it even remotely true? Remember, the juror never said it was true.
Yeah, never said it was true.
Minutes before I stood up to give my summation, that juror's removed. That's the problem. This isn't about court officers and besmirching court officers' reputations. That's not what this is about.
That's the Vanity Fair
about
reporter.
What happened at sidebar in the matter of minutes that denied Ms. Reed her constitutional right. Just a couple of other points that I just want to make. Mr. Brennan started his comments by talking about the Sallyport video and how unimportant it is. How unimportant that video is. I'm not going to go through all my points again. The court doesn't need to do that. But I do want to make this point. He says it's not important. There was nothing to see here. We don't pull videos normally. Yeah, of course you don't pull Sallyport videos if you're investigating a bar fight. This was the purported murder weapon. This truck is the thing that the Commonwealth suggests was used to kill a cop.
Yes.
You think a video of it being pulled into the Sallyport might be some evidentiary value? I don't know. Can't imagine why that would be important. Can't imagine why that might have some evidentiary materiality. But I do know this. I do know this much. One guy who thought it was important, the lead investigator.
Michael Proctor.
He pulled it all.
Yep.
All of it.
Yep.
He's super, super convinced.
God, he's awesome.
And he's the guy that once pulled it, hid it from us for nearly 3 years.
God, he's good.
Mr. Brennan spent some time talking about the difference between cracked and missing.
Yeah.
Interesting point. Now, I'm not going to go through a bunch of videos and audios. The court has seen all the pictures and photographs that it needs to see, and the court has a very, very good memory. We've never, ever disputed that the light was cracked. 5:07 or so a.m.
Yeah.
That's how it got cracked, is the point. It got cracked on that traverse. And a piece was missing. A piece was missing. Not according to me, according to another agency's sergeant, Barros, who said a piece was missing, but it wasn't completely damaged. Recall that when that light was completely reconstructed with the 46, 47 pieces that were purportedly found, well, they were found at Weir 34 Fairview, and then they were reconstructed. Does the court recall what that reconstruction looked like? That taillight was put together almost in its entirety, almost, except a piece was still missing. It was a piece unaccounted for. There's a big difference between a crack and the condition of that taillight, which we've now seen, where literally the entire lens material is basically gone. There's a few shards left on some edges, but the entire lens is basically gone. So yeah, it's relevant, and it's exculpatory. The condition of that light when it pulled into the Sallyport driveway. And with regard to the inverted video, again, Mr. Brennan says, let's see here, we've got inverted videos dating back days earlier. Then why, if that's such common knowledge, then why did Mr. Lalli and Sergeant Buchanan, in front of a jury, present that video as a true and correct presentation of what that car looked like?
Yep, that's what they said.
Mr. Lalli actually asked the question. I don't have a page in sight now, but I remember it because I was sitting. He asked the question. Did you see Mr. Proctor?
2,000 likes. Let's go.
Either you or Trooper Proctor approached that right passenger taillight. And the answer was no. Because on the video that was being played, it looked like the right passenger taillight was the one closest to the juror.
Right.
And of course, Trooper Proctor walked right around that.
Right.
Over to the other taillight. Except when you reverse it, you realize that's the right taillight.
Is there a copy of the reverse, the one that you played? Is that in the exhibits for today's motion?
No. The one that's been corrected?
Yes. I'd like a copy of
I
that.
don't think I have. Sure. We did that for the court immediately. Also, he played a video of the grainy video. So, and hey, look, some of these cameras are just grainy in other particulars as well, at other times and places. Maybe, or maybe not. What's interesting is the grainy video that we saw, if my memory serves me, and it's my memory, and it's being taxed at this point, but my memory is the 𝗂𝗲𝗄 on that video, in other words, the running numbers, was at the bottom. That video he just played was at the top. That's the exact same video. It's apples and apples, oranges and oranges. Why is that different?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
And
because they fucked that one too.
Actual statements in that interview that was played, or I'm sorry, it wasn't played, it was recited. She said, some of the red plastic is missing. Some of the red plastic is missing. In other words, a piece is missing. It's completely consistent with the condition of that taillight before it was at the Sallyport.
Exactly.
With regard to the facts that were recited by Mr. Brennan at the very end, every one of those is unsubstantiated. How does he know all that information? Who has he been talking to?
Wait,
and why do we know
what did he say?
a piece is missing?
Hold
it's
on.
completely consistent with the condition of
I
that
wanna hear this
taillight
part.
before it was at the Sallyport. With regard to the facts that were recited by Mr. Brennan at the very end, every one of those is unsubstantiated. How does he know all that information?
What
Who has
information?
he been talking to?
What information?
And why don't we know about it? If in furtherance of this motion, there was an interview done at Lieutenant Fanning that laid out all of this information on not having contact with jurors and not doing this and not doing that, but yes, doing this and that and the other thing, why's the first time I'm hearing about this when he stands up and tells us?
That's a good point. How does he know all that? So, well, I think we know the answer to that one, AJ, but go ahead.
That has been the pattern of this Commonwealth's presentation to this court and in front of the jury consistently. That is the punctuation mark at the end of the sentence. Why am I just now getting that? Why wasn't that appended to his motion? Was there a conversation Mr. Brennan had with Lieutenant Fanning that we need to know about? This is exactly why, Your Honor, exactly why. If this court is not inclined to dismiss this case, and it should, the maladies of the Brady concerning the Brady violations and the discovery violations are so manifold in this case. They cannot. It's
What the fuck happened? What happened? Is that for real? Did this happen? For real?
Cite on that? Is there one?
It was in court advocating for my client. He then said court TV is not a courtroom.
So before you go further,
Yes.
What the fuck happened? Was it
that I stood up in rebuttal and said that it was in court advocating for my client. He then said Court TV is not a courtroom.
So before you go further,
Yes.
I don't know if Mr. Brennan can give the Court TV site on that. Is there one, Mr. Brennan?
I'll have to provide a video that Mr. Yannetti is referring to. That comment that was a court comment. And so I intend on remedying that record. There's also a conversation after with Court TV.
All right, so provide it to Mr. Yannetti. Mr. Yannetti, I'll give you an opportunity to respond once you get that. But go ahead, you can tell me what you want to tell me now.
Right now, it's out in the court of public opinion that I made this extrajudicial statement. I said specifically I did not. He contradicted me, and that's where we left it. And he said that he would produce the receipts. Now he's admitting he does not have the receipts. There was no Court TV interview where I said anything of the sort. That was a Zoom hearing, excuse me, where I was arguing before Your Honor. I would just note, Your Honor, I don't think it makes sense that Mr. Brennan would have done this on purpose because it was so easily disprovable. It's troubling that he would make this damaging accusation without properly vetting it to see if it is true before he attacks opposing counsel. So that was disappointing to me. And I would just point out, and again, I only need 30 seconds. That
And take your time, Mr. Yannetti. You're not going to be 35 minutes.
Right. I certainly will not be. This new false allegation comes after my colleague, Mr. 𝗼𝗄𝗄𝗆, co-counsel, Mr. 𝗼𝗄𝗆, on February 25th, detailed 9 or 10 false statements that Mr. Brennan has made to this court. And I want to make it clear, I don't need an apology from Mr. Brennan. I don't expect one.
I don't need one.
I think perhaps he should apologize to the court. He said today, a lie unchecked becomes the truth. And I just would hope, Your Honor, that you hold Mr. Brennan to the same standard that you hold the defense team. And that's
I certainly do. So, Mr. Brennan, if you do not have a site, then I need you to let us all know that as well.
Oh, well, it's convenient to retort that there were 10 lies by the court that Mr. 𝗼𝗄𝗆 lined up. In fact, I looked at the transcripts. Some of his suggestions and I didn't read the paperwork properly, which is wrong. I didn't try to shame him today. It was part of accuracy, and I accept that. There was a conversation, and if you remember, when I related to Yanetti's remarks, it wasn't in relation to 3.6, it was in relation to the fact that they were using the federal investigation to create innuendo that could not be responded to. But I will provide
For your request for the gag order? In support of your argument for the gag order?
in response to how they had used federal materials that were in a seal that couldn't be rebutted to make suggestions. It's directly related to that point, not 3.6. But I will provide the videos. Mr. Yannetti is right. The exact statement that I used was from a court hearing, but then there was subsequent.
Where do I find the rest of Jackson's?
To Attorney Yannetti, but it wasn't in fashion of a 3.6 violation. That wasn't the intention. It was to show how they've used these federal materials before the case was closed to their advantage.
All right. So if you have the site, I'll give you until tomorrow afternoon to find the Court TV site.
Very well.
If you have it, supply it to all, Mr. Yannetti. So I'm ordering the Commonwealth, if they have that Court TV site, to provide it to all of us. And if you don't, provide that as well. Provide that information.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That's it for today.
All right, please.
Yeah. Did Law and Crime have the whole thing? Like, what happened there with the Spanky part? Do we lose it on everything?
Accountability for allegations of inappropriate correspondence between department members. True. But then they leave off the punchline.
Oh, it loses the feed here too. Okay, so we don't get it anywhere. Law and Crime has it, and this is Law and Crime, isn't it?
Before you're on.
That has been the pattern of this Commonwealth's presentation to this court and for the jury consistently. That is the punctuation mark at the end of the sentence. Why am I just now getting that? Why wasn't that appended to his motion? Was there a conversation Mr. Brennan had with Lieutenant Fanning that we need to know about? This is exactly why, Your Honor, exactly why.
Boston 25 is the whole thing? Okay.
The
Let me see. Let me go to Boston 25. Getting a little late. We'll watch the Boston 25 version of this. Is it on their live stream? I don't see a live or just videos. I do not see one on their live stream. Like when I go to Boston 25, the Young Jerks has it. Is that right? Lawyer, had it. The whole thing. Like I go to Boston 25 News and they do not have a live stream from that day. Go to Melanie Little, people are saying, or Young Jerks. All right, let's go to, hold on. Young Jerks.
We'll all agree it was some sort of multi-level hearsay suggestion that there was some sort of misconduct by the jurors or by a specific juror. We pressed the issue at sidebar and asked who the source was. At that time, for the first time, we were told the name Lieutenant Fanning. We obviously
You were not, just so we're clear, you were not told that by me.
No, we were told that by, I'm getting to that as well. We were told that by Ms. McLaughlin. She's the one that indicated that it was reported. I'm sorry. That's not right. That's not right. We pressed the issue on who was the source. I believe the court then inquired of one of the court officers.
Who are in charge of the jury?
Your Honor, I'm getting to that. I understand that. But if you'll allow me to make the argument and to indicate what as my declaration says, my good faith belief, based on reasonable belief, this is how we get there. We were then asked, or the court asked the court officer to join us.
I know. I'm going to get to that part. Let's see.
Has seen all the pictures and photographs that needs to see it. Court has a very, very good memory. We've never, ever disputed the light was cracked.
We've seen this, right? Okay.
But it wasn't completely damaged. Does the court recall what that reconstruction looked like? That taillight was put together almost in its entirety. Almost. Except a piece was still missing. It was a piece unaccounted for. There's a big difference between a crack and the condition of that taillight, which we've now seen, where literally the entire lens material is basically gone. There's a few shards left on some edges, but the entire lens is basically gone. So yeah, it's relevant. And it's exculpatory. The condition of that light when it pulled into the Sallyport driveway. And with regard to the inverted video, again, Mr. Brennan says there's nothing to see here. We've got inverted videos dating back days earlier. Then why, if that's such common knowledge, then why did Mr. 𝗬𝗏 and Sergeant Buchanan, in front of a jury, present that video as a true and correct? Mr. Pryor, something I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of, did either you or Trooper Proctor approach that right passenger tail? And the answer was.
By the way, people see this. We've heard this all. Can someone just tell me the part I'm supposed, like, we've seen this all. Can someone please tell me where I can find the part we haven't fucking seen? I can't stand when people send me down the wrong one. We've heard this part.
Is there a copy of the?
He played at this point, but my memory is the 𝗂𝗏 on that video said was at the Sallyport. With regard to the facts that were cited by Mr. Brennan at the very end, every one of those is unsubstantiated. How does he know all that information? Who has he been talking to?
We've seen this.
And why don't we know about it? If in further to this motion, there was an interview by Lieutenant Fanning that laid out all of this information about not having contact with jurors and not doing this and not doing that, but yes, doing this and that and the other thing. Why's the first time I'm hearing about this when he stands up and tells us? That has been the pattern of this Commonwealth's presentation to this court and in front of the jury consistently. That is the punctuation mark at the end of the sentence. Why am I just now getting that? Why wasn't that appended to his motion? Was there a conversation Mr. Brennan had with Lieutenant Fanning that we need to know about? This is exactly why, Your Honor, exactly why. If this court is not inclined to dismiss this case, and it should, the maladies of the Brady concerning the Brady violations and the discovery violations are so manifold in this case. They cannot, it's irremediable harm. Irremediable harm. This case should be dismissed because of the conduct of the Commonwealth, including Michael Proctor holding onto his videos, hiding those videos, and then others involved with strategizing how to use the videos against us, against the defense, in a murder trial without our knowledge and without giving us the videos. But if the court, in the face of all this, determines that it's either unconvinced at this juncture to dismiss this case, then we urge the court to have an evidentiary hearing. That's what this demands at the very least.
She's not going to have one.
So that the court can perfect the record. We shouldn't be guessing at things. And I'll submit.
Any follow-up, Mr. Brennan?
No, thank you.
Mr. Yannetti, do you want to say something?
I don't think I need to in light of that presentation, Your Honor.
All right. I know you want to do your motion, Mr. 𝗃𝗍𝗂. I cannot imagine that you can summarize it all in 10 minutes, can you?
I cannot, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm not going to have anybody back here this week or next week. We'll hear that on the 18th when we hear everything else.
Oh, fucking great. The 18th. That's the day they want to send me to jail. I'll be in Stoughton for that. Sucks. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the entirety of it, right? People like tribe Melanie Little. We just heard it all, right? There's nothing that Melanie and Emily have, right? That's not. Yeah, when 𝗃𝗍𝗂 goes, he needs the whole day. He needs the whole day. Okay. Let me read some turtle chats here. Okay, cool. Let me read some turtle chats. All right. Crusty Auntie Cannoni sends $5 and goes, Dr. Trooper Proctor, you fucked up the whole investigation. You violated the chain of custody and fucked up your career. Did you realize the McAlberts and Morrissey's office don't care if you all lose your jobs? As long as you guys protect them at all costs. Who's now calm, cool, and collective? Exactly. Give me 1 second, guys. Just I gotta take a leak. Hold on. I'll throw on a video here. What can we? It's got to be some kind of video I can show you. Just to kill time for a minute. A funny video.
Yeah, you're gonna look up my name. I get it. Okay, but I know how much comes up on my name, and that bothers me to a certain extent, just because my daughter and I were talking about all this. Because I'll be straightforward with everybody here. When I first got this information, I went to my children, who are 12 and 15. They're not little kids or whatever, and I said, I have some really incriminating information on Aidan. They obviously know who he is at this point. What should I do with it? And my son said, well, if it's going to hurt his family, I wouldn't do it because you're going to look petty and hypocritical. And, it hurt us a lot. And I don't want to do that to anyone else. And I said, okay, my daughter, who has been much more affected because Aidan has really focused on her, and she's 15 years old, said, fucking bury him. All right.
Ship off the old block.
She did, though. Yeah. And one thing that she said to me today when we were discussing this is she goes, if I look up Kate Peters' daughter, the first thing that comes up is all this nasty shit about me. And she's 15 years old. She's 15 years old. I would say, and I'm not trying to extort anyone here. I would say that an easy way to quell my rage and all this would be if maybe, no, never mind. It doesn't matter either way. There was one point when I really wanted everything about my daughter taken down, but
yeah, so that's 𝗄𝗄𝗆 talking about sharing my revenge porn with her kids. That's normal. Okay, cool. Let me read some turtle chats here. Yeah, I did nothing to her. Yeah, exactly. Asian walking with the lantern sends $5 and goes, Mr. Brian, until the fuck you testified you was asleep at 2 a.m. and didn't make any calls that night when the butt dial occurred, but state police, the McAlberts in Canton, threw you under the bus by providing a video of you at 1:34 a.m. in Canton. What up with that? Exactly. Julie sends $10 and goes, Braveheart, they will never take our freedom. They might. They've done it to me. So I don't know about that. So thank you. Sue sends $100. Woo, thank you, Sue. And says, I thought the feds were investigating in Norfolk County before 𝗃𝗄𝗆 was killed. Is Karen Reed the reason they began investigating there? Yes, Karen Reed is the reason. That's correct. That's correct, Sue. And she says, thank you for your perseverance and audacity. Yes. So, yeah, Karen Reed was the reason that they are in Norfolk County, spending about 1.5 years, 2 years investigating this thoroughly, having a grand jury, bringing all these people in, etc. A-Rod sends $10, goes, if Karen Reed was guilty, then Proctor would have never kept those Sallyport videos. If the inverted video was not a fraud, Lally would have said the right is really the left side. The left side is really the right side. The good taillight would have not looked damaged. So if Karen Reed was guilty, Proctor never would have kept those Sallyport videos. Right. If the inverted video was not a fraud. Right. I get what you're saying. Thank you. Nicole sends $5 and goes, I am now 1,000% sure Spanky is an avid undercover turtle rider and watches every live show. Hi, Spanky. We know you're here. How does it feel to be a loser? You're Morrissey's bitch, and we'll go down with all of them in due time. Free Karen Reed, free Dr. Turtleboy. I don't necessarily think he watches every minute of my show or anything like that. But he responds to trolls. Like he admits, like trolls send him shit and he enters it into evidence. Like that's what he does. So I'm sure people are constantly sending him clips. And he's definitely a lot more involved in internet stuff than what's his name was. Lally. Lacey sends $10 and goes, do you think Cunty Bev will find a way to revoke your press pass this trial? She can't do that. Only the SJC can do that. If not, do you have assigned seating? Thursday show with Nan Laferio this Thursday on X at Lacey J Meeks, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. Gracious. Well, thank you. No, she can't do that. And it's just the first 10 who get to go. Grant had to leave the other day because Jessica Machado was there. Grant tried to report Jess Machado to the SJC, saying she no longer works at Fall River Reporter. She doesn't have to work at Fall River Reporter. I don't work for a newspaper, and I have a press pass too. Grant doesn't work for a newspaper, and he's got a press pass. So it's not hard to get that. So, yeah. What was I going to say? And before I forget, I just want to thank DJ from Calling All Beings and BLT, my guy BLT, Brian LTL, from LTL True Crime Podcast. Both of them tonight did streams in which they raised money for my legal defense fund in excess, I believe, total of like $6,000, dude. So just want to thank those guys really for doing that. That was very thoughtful of them. And to everybody who donated to them, I am eternally grateful for all you people. I am so humbled by when I go outside courthouses and people are there for me and cheering me on and filling it. I can't tell you how humbling that is. And the most humbling thing was all the messages I got when I was in jail every day from people that really just kept me going. That pad, the tablet, the messages app, like the messages would come in like dumps. Like I would check it periodically throughout the day and there'd be like no new messages. And then around like 3 p.m. every day, I would get like 80 new messages and I just couldn't wait to read them all because there wasn't much to do in jail. And so those messages really raised my spirits and kept me going. So, I can't thank you people enough for all, you do for me. And I know that Karen Reed feels the same way, so it's tough, and they're trying to put me on the 18th. They are trying to put me back in jail. They want to send me back to jail on April 18th because of this new witness intimidation charge. It's just completely bogus. Everybody knows it's not witness intimidation. They know it, but they just charge you with it. They charge you with it because we're miming. Come to my window, So on what grounds? On guys, I mean, this is serious. I hope people understand this. There's a chance on March 18th you will not see me for 60 more days. That they are literally trying to put me in jail for 60 days on March 18th. So like it's fucking serious. Like I don't know if people understand this. Like this is not a joke. This is not a drill. They have charged me with another felony. And on March 18th, they are going to file a motion to have my bail revoked because I picked up a new charge. It doesn't matter if the charge is ridiculous. It doesn't matter how, the fact of the matter is it's a charge. It's a real charge. Okay. So it doesn't matter how stupid it is. Doesn't matter all the memes. They are going to present this to the court as this guy's out on bail for witness intimidation. And he's being charged with another count of felony witness intimidation. He just can't stop intimidating witnesses. Put him in jail. We will have a chance to defend ourselves, obviously, and get the truth out there. But that is what they are trying to do. So there's a chance that you will not see me for 60 days. I mean, so if you're a religious person, pray tomorrow. I can't go to that would suck. That would really suck, man. That would really suck. I got a lot going on in life right now. More than anything, I have 2 kids who need me. So that's like the most important part about this. That's why it cannot fucking happen. So it is not the same judge. This judge's name right now, it's in Stoughton District Court. The charge is out of. So the judge right now is listed as Judge Hernan, Julianne Hernan. I don't know much about her. I know she represented some of these drug lab scandal. Remember the Annie Dukin case? She represented some of the defendants who were released or had their cases overturned as a result of the drug lab scandal fiasco. So hopefully she is the kind of person who understands government corruption. All right. And so, you know, I understand Karen Reed as a, you know, a hearing on that day, and it's really important, and I get all that, but I wouldn't mind, you know, I wouldn't object to a show of support in Stoughton on there, because they are once again filing a motion to put me in jail. They did it last March 14th as well. Luckily it backfired, but I had no idea. It all depends on the judge. If I was going in front of Judge Pomeroy in Dedham or Judge Walsh in Stoughton, I would feel very confident that I'm not going to have my bail revoked. But I don't know who this judge is. Like, I don't know. This could be like Judge Krupp, somebody like him. I wouldn't trust somebody like that. So I believe the arraignment is at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. So, you know, say a prayer for your boy. All right. Anyway, back to the turtle chats. Alicia sends $5 and goes, new thought. If John dies at 12:32 and Jennifer McCabe is looking outside at 12:31, she would have physically watched the accident happen. I don't think that's that much of a new thought, Alicia, but I appreciate that. And she goes, free Karen Reed and Turtleboy. A-Rod sends $10 and goes, the Ring video at John's house is enhanced to very white. So is at her parents. You missed the editing app that popped up. Oh, I did? I missed that. Yeah, I was going to say it looked whiter than when I saw it before. Plus the bottom of the hanky screen is all editing and Photoshop apps. Really? Somebody's got to point that out. Thank you. Fertilization Felicia sends $10 and goes, can you please wish a happy birthday to Harry, my crotch baby's sperm donor? Also, we're looking for free diapers for our 28-year-old. Thanks. From the other Fertilization Felicia. You're too funny. Thank you. Sandra sends $25 and goes, I'm curious to know if the auto chip thing was done. How is that? It's never been brought up again. It has been done, and you're going to find out what it says at trial. So stay tuned. Liz sends $20 and goes, shout out to Nan, Meredith, Jen Altman on Calling All Beings tonight. There's a few others too. What a great crew you have behind you, especially Mary changed for the better after a fake victim. You deserve good. Thank you. God bless and Karen Reed. Thank God she's gone away. I'm so glad that she's just disappeared off the face of the earth. It's great. Thank you. I mean, it turns out when you sue someone for, I mean, literally since that restraining order was denied renewal, I don't think anyone's heard from her. Not a lick. It's been very nice. 2 months of silence. It's been great. All right. Marisa sends $10. Goes, sorry if I'm late to the party, but just a thought. Has anyone checked Jen's Apple Watch heart rate from that night? Yes. It's in Rick Green's report. And it indicates that she's awake all night. She doesn't go to sleep. Lyot sends $5. Goes, I'll get horny with you if you buy me a meal of food after. Pauline sends $50 and says, love you, Dr. Turtleboy. Or just Turtleboy. She didn't call me doctor. Drain the mass swamp. Wish we could have a dunk booth for Bias Bev. Our Bev and Spanky. Or Bev and Spanky. Imagine the money that would raise. Oh, that would be great. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy, dream team. Thank you. A-Rod sends another $10 and says, can we talk about the IA editing app popping up? I'll have to look more closely. The taillight was definitely edited. Interesting. AJ feeling fat, dumb, and happy at sidebar sends $20. Goes, hi, doctor with the big megaphone. Trying to remember funnier times. Was it the mailman in the truck who called Chris 𝗃𝗃 Charlie? Yes, it was. 𝗃𝗃 Charlie. We need to stop calling Brennan a nerd. It's insulting to all good and nice nerds. He has cooties, and maybe he's a dork. More than anything, he's evil. I agree with that. Thanks, Daddy, for reminding everyone to brush their teeth. It is really important. Please tell Amy her mother also loves her. Free Karen Reed, free Turtleboy, and John O'Keefe. Thank you. Carrie Ann sends $20. Goes, your new favorite retweeter day made. Was the dismissed juror the same one Plevin sent those creepy texts to? Yes, it was. How did he get her name and info? Exactly. He got her name and info from, who do you think? The same cabal that went after her and is going to try to smear her. Why do you think she doesn't want to come forward? They talk about like fear and intimidation. It's a one-way street. That's it. That's it. And yes, she has an awesome tweet here. Let me just read it to you. There were so many troubling things that revealed themselves during the motion to dismiss hearing in the Karen Reed case this week. There was the fact that the full Sallyport video was recorded in 6-hour chunks that have never been turned over. Trooper Proctor having video in his possession for 26 months before anyone knew about it. There was news the inverted camera has been destroyed. There was Chief Rafferty LOLing about tampering with evidence. Like, that was crazy too. I didn't even play that part tonight. But this clip that I'm sharing sent me over the edge. Here we are in a murder case, not just any murder case, the murder of a cop, and the prosecution is using evidence where you have to zoom in, squint, cover one eye, stand on 1 foot, and back up 10 feet to try to see. It's absurd and totally avoidable. Proctor is not just a dirtbag who calls suspects cunts and says female MEs are whack jobs and wishes people would kill themselves and looks for nudes in women's phones. He's a shitty cop. I disagree with that. I think he's a fine cop when he wants to be. Like, I'm sure he's done other murder investigations that have been normal. This is just one more example that if he just followed basic standard protocols, this case might not be in the dismal shape it's in. If he had followed standard protocols, then Karen Reed would be free by now. Like, that's the problem. It's that he didn't. It was by design, not by accident. All he had to do was take a photo of the taillight. Instead, we have these snow-covered images from various times of the day where you can't tell what is what, where you just have to guess and take their word that it's shattered into oblivion and missing 47 pieces and send a person to prison for 20 years. Exactly. It's like, yeah, look at that. See? That looks good enough. Send her to jail. What? Proctor claims he sent those nasty texts about Karen Reed because he was so angry about what she did to a fellow officer. Yet John O'Keefe was not worthy enough for Proctor to take out his phone and snap a photo of the alleged murder weapon. Great point. And you can add a whole bunch of other things here. O'Keefe wasn't worthy enough for Proctor to fill out a chain of custody form or record an interview or document evidence collection or knock on doors to see if anyone had ring cameras or turn over evidence instead of hiding it and filing it away for 2 years and on and on. Shame on him. And I don't see any grave concerns from Auntie Bev over any of that. So thank you, Carrie. Sarah sends $10 and says, Dr. Daddy, thank you for everything you've done. Get Meredith some Pedialyte so she doesn't puke at the registry of deeds. Did she puke there? I don't think she puked there. Did she? I don't know. It was a rough morning. Fuck all dem sends $10 and goes, seriously, Melanie uncovered that Fanning and Crawford was in business together and they edited a video of the same man who was found guilty. I believe this is in 2015. I will look that up. Thank you. Let me refresh this. I don't want to miss anyone. A-Rod sends $10, goes, just sent you the video of the pink editing app on Facebook Messenger that popped up when Hank was showing the taillight. Let me grab this real quick. It's kind of a small video that you sent there, A-Rod. Can't. The editing app? Where's the editing app? All right, I'll just have to look at that later. I don't have time to do that right now. So thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. Next up, Sue sends $100 again. Jeez Louise. And she goes, hello again, Dr. Turtleboy. After I sent the earlier $100 turtle chat, I was unsubscribed by YouTube. Now I cannot chat. What the hell? You can chat. Is it subscribers only? So the feds started investigating John O'Keefe's murder, and while there, they discovered the Birchmore case. Yes. I understood the opposite. Thanks again. No, the facts show otherwise. The facts show otherwise. So there's that. Jolie Douglas sends $10, goes, I'm still optimistic. I remember when Martha Stewart announced the feds had closed her case, and 3 weeks later, she was arrested. Interesting. The Pisces gal sent $5 and goes, if the hard drive of Canton Police is rewritten every 30 days, how the fuck, Hanky, were you given a video from 1/1/22 knowing all that shit was inverted purposely so we can believe that's how it is? Exactly. I think I said that earlier. Also, if the video skips by minutes when no movement, why is there a live footage with lights out and no movement? Exactly. Hanky licking saucy meatballs sends $5 and goes, food for thought. In Massachusetts, a violation of the chain of custody by the state police can lead to evidence being deemed inadmissible in court as it undermines the integrity of the evidence. Exactly, but it's Auntie Bev, so who cares? Okay, cool. That's that. Let me just read some cash apps here. Celine sends $10 and goes, Doctor, can you please make your kids an Amazon wish list? I don't want the charity for the kids. It's fine. I can buy my kids my own shit. I appreciate the gesture, though. Maybe if I go to jail, we can. I don't know. Hopefully not. I really don't want to go to fucking jail again. Once was enough. Jeannie Marie sends $15, goes, your defense fund. So thank you, Jeannie Marie. Amanda sends $10, goes, I can't wait for the show. Reviewing the sidebars. Okay, thank you, Amanda. All right, cool. Let me just refresh this so I don't miss anyone. Emily sends $10, goes, shout out to Donna and Taryn. Say hi, ladies. Okay. Shout out to Donna and Taryn. Love you guys. So you get no more turtle chats. It's it for those. Anyway, you guys got anything else you want to talk about? I could do this all night. Really could do. I never did the 24-hour stream on February break. Just ran out of days. But, man, trial's going to be here before you know it, isn't it? Today is March 8th. It's about to be March 9th. We're about to lose an hour of sleep. My stove is about to be the right time for the first time in 4 months. And my microwave, too. I never switched it. So that's going to be nice. That's going to be cool. It's going to be nice to go outside at like 6:30 tomorrow and be like, oh shit, it's light outside, you know? Did I get your Cash App? When did you send it? Oh, did I not read this one? Oh, I got a couple others I might have missed. Lisa sends $10. Thank you for the reminder. And says, a night I love Aidan's mic drops. Sent money to give. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Barry sends $129. Thank you, Barry Lewis. Appreciate that. Glad I rechecked these. I didn't want to miss these. I don't know how I missed these. He goes, hey, Aidan, stay focused. You are the fourth rail. Well, thank you very much, Barry. You're the man. Appreciate that, my dude. Melissa sends $10 and goes, saying hi to my friend Marissa, but only once. Don't know what that means, but thank you. The only once comment. Pauline sends $50. Woo! And says, love you, Turtleboy. Drain the Massachusetts swamp. That's the plan. That's the plan. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the defense fund. Blessed mom. Lisa, appreciate that. Rich sends $8 and goes, happy birthday, Claire. Enjoy Mexico. FMK. So it's fuck, Mary, kill, Bagel, Krusty, and Megabeth. Oh, come on. Come on. I literally can't. I can't fuck any of them. Come on. How the fuck am I supposed to fuck Julie Nagel, Krusty or Megabeth. Bro. Like never. Oh my God. I can't. Like you have to give, if you're going to do fuck, marry, kill, you have to give someone who is remotely fuckable. Someone. Come on. Like I wouldn't fuck Jennifer McCabe, but at least throw her on there. Somebody like that. You know what I mean? Like they can be evil, but you got to throw somebody on there who's remotely fuckable. So you did it all wrong, Rich. I can't fuck. I literally, there was absolutely no way I could even remotely come and not CUM, like COME, remotely come to having an erection with any of those three women. You understand that? No one could. I'm convinced no one could. Next one. Sylvia sends $60. How the fuck did I miss all these? The good thing you reminded me, Lisa. Sends $60 and goes, keep up the good fight, Dr. Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Sylvia. I'll do just that. That's the plan. Johnny D sends $5 and goes, Arca not see driveway video proves AJ not prep wolf. Good point. Fair point, Johnny. Thank you. Wouldn't he want to show him that? Yeah, exactly. Anna sends $15, goes, sounds like he is in love with Fanning. I know, right? Dude, Spanky, how bad do you want to fuck Fanning, dude? Throw that in the court doc, will you? How hard would you fuck John Fanning on a scale from 1 to 10? How hard would your 3.5-inch dick be if John Fanning was bending over in front of you right now? How hard would you fuck him? Huh? Give me a Jules. What would be the, how hard would you fuck that guy's ass? Because you would fuck him hard, wouldn't you, Spanky? I know you would. Thank you. Celine sends $10, says no comment. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how I missed. There was like 7 or 8 turtle chats there. I mean, super chats. So whatever we call them. So thank you, Lisa, for reminding me. I would not have wanted to miss that one. So thank you. Okay, cool. Anyone else got anything to say before we call it a night? Yeah, we're going to lose an hour of sleep. I got my son's flag football playoffs tomorrow. Holy Cross. Got a big one. We'll see how it goes. Had a big basketball game today. We lost, but we had a lot of spirit. I just told them that we're going to crash the boards. I mean, my team, we got a lot of heart. You know, we got a lot of heart. We don't got a lot of talent. You know, we don't got a lot of experience. Those aren't our strengths on this team. Okay. But we got a lot of heart on this team. And, do I have a picture of this? Let me see here. Of the team I coach. We had, what's today's date? The 8th. Might be over here. By the way, look at this one. I don't know how this one came to my attention the other day. This thing. Look at this. This is the funniest picture. Chris Albert killed the man. Blood pizza. This was great. This is what really pissed them off is that like they put up fucking wood. Like it looks like a burnt down building or something. I don't know how that came up, but that was just in my thing. Hold on. Do I have that? No. Okay. I had like a team photo. I blacked out all the kids' faces. I would never share anything like that on my platform, but yeah, you know, we didn't do that well, and we don't keep score at these things anyway. It's like herding cats, but I just told them today, we got to work on the boards, working on rebounds. We do this box out drill. And because so many kids, like the kids don't have a natural instinct to get a rebound. They like, it goes up and the other kids on the other team all try to grab it. And our kids, the ball just comes right in front of them. They don't even like, just grab the ball. Like you're fighting with your sister, you know? Let's go. My judge, I got a bunch of judge. Judge Doolin is the one in, he's the one doing my motion to dismiss. But Judge Hernon is the one who's currently listed. HERNON. Julianne Hernon. So hopefully she's fair, because any fair judge would not put me in jail over a fucking, I mean, are you kidding me? Okay, cool. Anybody else got anything before we call it a night? You know, I got a big day tomorrow. It's like herding cats. I mean, that's what it is. It's like fucking organized. Back on day. Let's go. Let's go. Yes, that would be Judge Hernon. Julianne Hernon is her name. That's the one. She's listed on the docket as the judge in Stoughton that day. So, you know, I'd be lying if I'd be lying if I said that it didn't give me anxiety. You know what I mean? But anyway, I do need an inside. I need a house with a indoor basketball court. I do need that. You sent me a Cash App, Kelly. I thought I read it. Check X messages. Oh, you can just send it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to do it another time. If you want a message read on the app, just you got to send it with your chat. I can't be like, go check these messages and read it there. I can't do that. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night, guys. I love all you fine people. And you guys keep up the great work and brush your teeth and spring forward and have a great night. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.